Okay, hey everyone, welcome to the live. Sorry we're late. Below me is the reasons why down over there. and So Alexa will be here later, probably within about a half an hour's time. So we will be seeing Alexa, but I'm not sure if she ended up going to the Rockefeller lights or what. Either way, she said that she'd be joining us in about a half an hour's time. So, Jeff, you're as close to Alexa as we could get, looks and everything. I think it's the hair and the beard.
You should have looked a little bit harder. I'm sure if you spent another 2 minutes, you could have found somebody.
Yeah. Well, Kate, why are you, Kate, Aspen, he's hiding. What are you doing over there? He's hiding. He's hiding from you guys. He's
Do
waiting
we want
for
to
that
know?
moment that here's Adam.
There was
There he
I
is.
had my camera on, but I just turned it off because there was something blocking my light in the back. So
Yeah. Well, there's something that we have to fix from yesterday because I didn't notice it. You noticed it. You didn't say anything. Then you told me about it an hour and a half into the show. And that is, we just wanted to wish our mom and dad, Charmaine's parents, just give them a sweet hello. And so, because we didn't do that properly yesterday, and Charmaine, if you guys don't know, she's a very dear friend to
she is.
us or
But
me,
to be technical,
technical.
she did not ask me to say hello to her mom and dad. She only asked Sunny to say hello to her mom and dad. So
If I was paying attention, which half the time I don't, do I? No, especially when yesterday I was kind of rushing and I was kind of out of it, to be honest, and kind of didn't go through the hellos like we typically do or whatever, and didn't see it until you said it. So, this is for our parents, which are Charmaine's parents. They've kind of like internetly adopted us, I suppose. So we just want to get that straight today. So anyways, sorry about that yesterday, Charmaine. Just wanted to give your parents a special shout out today.
right.
Tell them to watch this
Hey,
episode.
Charmaine's parents, I'm so grateful that
Yeah.
you raised such an incredible daughter, and I am sorry that you have to deal with her while she's staying at your house.
Right. We're such better kids than she is, but whatever
She's kind of a lot
to deal with. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Miss Dog Lover. Hello, hello. I've been out of my work for Christmas party. Such an amazing opportunity. If you guys ever hear my husband, it's because he's gaming and he gets pretty loud when he's gaming.
What is he
Also,
playing?
Call of Duty, probably.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah, I gotta go. Tell him to message me. I'll go play with him.
Yeah,
are
right.
you all 12?
Yes.
Yeah, usually the word wanker comes out a few times. Or it's funny listening
12
to
is
the
generous.
I think I'm the only adult male that doesn't play video games.
Can you believe this? Charmaine said, so we did this whole spiel to our parents, which are Charmaine's parents. We did this whole spiel, and she's like, had to step away. Hey, everyone. We were just saying what a wonderful child you are, but we're just a little bit better kids to your parents than Charmaine is, even though kind of a little bit. I know that you're American, but whatever.
Hey, can we get to Delphi?
No, not yet. We will in a second. First, you guys, we want to
How many
welcome.
trailers do you have before the movie starts here? Do I got time to go get some more popcorn?
Yeah. Oh, Miss Dog Lover said, "Stop interrupting her message." See, squirrel. So, such an amazing opportunity, Chair, to get intel on co-workers and their crimes against the team. There, completed.
Wait,
Mission accomplished.
I just want to know what office Christmas party ends at 3:12 a.m. Miss Dog Lover, because you're in the UK and I know what time it is there. So last time I had a work function, it didn't end that late.
You know, Miss Dog Lover. A few of
She
those,
kept that party going.
right?
He's going all temporal on you. Look out. He knows what time it is.
To be honest with you, Miss Dog Lover's that person that I would actually probably think is, the one that's on the table with the pole on the table at the Christmas party. And I can just see her swinging her purse around.
Miss Dog Lover would be in my top 3 people that I would probably have the most fun with if I ever hung out with in person.
And what about our sister, Charmaine?
Oh, well, after she was done yelling at me, I would probably have fun. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So you guys, if you guys don't know who Jeff is, Jeff, who exactly are you again?
I'm your friend.
That's what I thought.
I'm your friend. We go way back.
I know, at least what, 6 months to whatever ago. So such a long, yeah.
You're my most special friend,
You're my
Jenny.
friend, you're not everybody's
Forrest Gump
friend,
impersonation.
but you're our
Oh
friend.
no, I'm not everybody's friend. I just found that out a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, why do you talk to your wife?
Hmm?
I said, why did you talk to your wife?
Yeah. No, I actually talked to her lawyer, but he talks to her. See, that's how it works.
Sorry. Okay.
So Jeff has been on here a couple times. He's a YouTube creator more recently. So you're monetized properly now. It looks
I
like.
am.
Yeah, congratulations.
I think I'm almost up to like $17.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I don't know what you're going to do with all that. I guess you're just going to have to. Fibro. Fibro's been a member for 8 months. Love ya. By that,
Nice.
she's saying, love ya. Love ya. Love you. I love you too, Fibro. I don't think that was meant for you so much. Maybe Charmaine will show you some love. Your sister.
Thank you, Fibro.
From a different mister. Yeah. Okay. So Jeff, like I said, he's come on here. He mostly, for the most part, follows Idaho case, very much so. And somewhat a Delphi, right, Jeff?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think my mom was big into Delphi, and that did kind of started to spark an interest, but it wasn't until Idaho where I really started getting involved.
Yeah. Oh, Route 661.
But
I'm not
I kind of miss doing thumbnails for you. It's about time I do another thumbnail.
Yes, I think it is.
Don't you think?
It is. Yes, I think it is.
I really do think. Isn't it ironic?
Well, Adam used to help me make thumbnails, but he doesn't no more.
Hey, he doesn't ask.
No.
Ask. Oh, yeah.
It's like taking the garbage out. No one wants to do it, but I mean, it has to be done.
The smell is almost bad enough. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, so before we get started into Delphi, I wanted to quickly talk about Valerie Tindall. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Tindall or Tindall. But I put out a video today, and it's showing a little piece of a news clip, as well as the parents' interview after the press conference that they had today. This is a child that went missing back in June, and they recovered.
17-year-old.
Yeah, 17. They recovered her remains. I believe it was yesterday, in Patrick Scott, which is the neighbor of that she worked for. So, meaning, what sickens you is when these neighbors, meaning the wife and the husband, Patrick Scott, the one that took her life, are literally going over to the parents' house. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? And Right. Meanwhile, her remains are in the backyard of their house, which is like next door to them. So
this was in Arlington, Indiana, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is close to Rushville, which a lot of people, if you follow the Delphi case, Rushville because of the Elvis Fields, Johnny Messer, those guys. They're all from that Rushville area. But someone had come in our chat last night, which thank you very much, Meg, because you brought attention to the case. And
I was just going to say, yes. Thank you to Meg. Sorry, I was just going to say, yes, thank you to Meg.
But yeah, so we, I had not followed this case. I had heard about it, but I really appreciated, I think her name was Meg, who came in the chat last night and mentioned it because she's local. And I actually was talking to Fig Solves earlier today because he'd gotten a comment on one of his videos from the same person. And he was, expressing his, sadness about this case as well. Just because, he's someone that has been personally affected in his family of homicide. So, Meg, thank you for spreading awareness about Valerie's homicide.
Yeah, because I never heard of it.
I hadn't,
yeah,
I heard of it, but I didn't follow it.
Okay, and but yeah, it's I don't even know what to say. because it just sickens me that that POS there next to the father, you know, a girl that worked for him. Just the fact that someone just takes someone's life so easily,
Right.
you know, and I'll never get why people do those wicked, evil things. You know, I just don't, I won't ever get it, you know, and it's just so horrible. You know, obviously the family, you know, it's been since June, but, you know, and it's kind of like, I'm sure at some point, but then it gets back to, okay, now they finally found a remains. So they go to a different stage of grieving, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know how people can do that, Sonny. I mean, I see a spider in the house and I get a cup and
I know, put it back outside.
and I let it outside. I can't kill it. Even if I flush it, when I flush it, I found a stink bug and I threw it in the toilet. As it was spinning around, I was like, I'm sorry.
I
You
know.
I'm talking to a stink bug in the toilet.
I know, I do the same thing. I've seen a couple of spiders recently, and one was living on my corner window for about 2 months until it finally kind of just disappeared. And I just kind of let it stay there. And I seen a one running across the mirror, and all I did was like, oh yeah, not today. And then I just blew the blow dryer on it a little bit, and it's like, yeah, go crawl somewhere else, okay? Because I have that same problem with that. But yet some of these people, like I said, I could never be in their headspace to ever understand what would make evil do such things to human beings like that.
I mean, it's a living entity. I just don't know how you can. None of us can create a living entity. Even my son. My son's mom and I.
Have children?
You don't. Yeah, I do have one. I have one that's naturally made.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Hi, Travis. How are you? Oh, Travis, I've seen you leave me a message, and I totally forgot because I was at the doctor's and that stuff today, and I think I seen it when I was in the car. But I don't usually do much back on my phone. I hate phone. I like my iPad and I like the computer. I hate using the phone. I hate it at all. Anyways, Travis said he was going to be out this way over in Canada. I think next summertime at some point on there. And I was like, I'm going to go report him to the Border Patrol right now. Well, maybe not right now, tomorrow, Travis. Yeah, I'm sure there's something that go ahead, Travis, bring your guns. Come on across.
Well, you know, I admire both of your humanity towards living creatures. And I don't eat living creatures. I'm a vegetarian. But if you're in my space, I have no problem taking you out. So
each to the road.
I apologize if that's inhumane, but
with that, I will say this chicken I'm eating right now and this pho is delicious.
If you've got 8 legs and I see you in a room that I'm inside of,
yeah,
I can't promise we're both going to walk out of it alive.
Yeah. It's really is when one of the spider just all of a sudden drops in front of you, like unexpectedly. You know, I remember I was on my iPad and all of a sudden, voop, because of the light, you know, it was dark in the bedroom, but the light from the iPad, and all of a sudden it was just like, voop.
Yeah, don't sleep with your mouth open.
Right. Okay. So Jeff had done this. Actually, Jeff, just explain quickly to your video that you made of the bridge guy, if you could, for everyone that's watching.
Sure. Yeah, this is the first Delphi video I've put on my channel, and but I didn't really know where to go to get the best quality video of the bridge guy, but I had found, like, it was a still picture. It's a big still picture of 48 still frames that I guess somebody took from the actual video. And I'd gone through and cut each of the 48 out in Photoshop. So I had 48 JPEGs, and then I brought them into Adobe Premiere, and I strung them all out, put them in what's called a nest. So it's all 48, and now it's just one video clip. And in this, then I ran a thing called Warp Stabilizer because it was really shaky. That was my 2 goals, was that the clip is too short and it's very shaky. And I thought, if I can find a loop point where it looks like it repeats, so it looks like he's just naturally continuing his walk, might give the appearance, or maybe some indication of his, what do you call it, his gait, or the way that he walks.
Yeah.
Because it's not just 48 frames any longer. It's just, it's a looping. But that did mean that, he's moving from right to left. So the picture that you see in the left is continuing to move right to left. With every loop, I had to, shift it over so that he kind of continues moving. And I thought I'd give you a close-up shot on the right side as well. But
yeah. I mean, there's Alexza. Alexa's here with us now. Hold on. I
wanted to quickly hide it. Drunk Turkey Show. Kathy Chapin, and also to Frank Meister.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm just going to edit the layout for a second while you guys are doing that. Okay, because we're like little.
So, not to interrupt what Jeff was talking about, but Drunk Turkey Show. I hear that that Jeff was being a bad boy in your live. So
Jeff's always a bad boy. But we like that.
I'm going to need some proof. I can't pretend to be a bad boy. I don't know.
The funny thing is, Daniel, is that just before the live, Jess said, I was just in a Drunk Turkey Show. I told him to come on over. Hope you don't mind. I was like, yeah, we mind. We don't even associate with the Drunk Turkey Show at all. Like, we weren't on their live the other day.
Never heard of them.
Yet never heard of them whatsoever. So for such an avid watcher of Drunk Turkey Show, I was like, Jeff, really? You didn't see us on the Drunk Turkey Show the other day?
I had stuff to do that day.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I just wanted to go chill with the boys. I didn't care what we talked about. We could have talked about pantyhose and lipstick or something. I don't care. I just wanted to go.
Hey, Alexza.
Yeah, I know. With her lipstick.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Good. There's people in here going, Alexza. And we were like, not today. No, just kidding.
How was the tree lighting, Alexza?
It was nice. I mean, first I wasn't going to go. Then I said I'm going to go. So I ended up taking one twin because the other one is sick. So we went. I didn't see the ending because if I would have stayed until the end, I would have made it on time. So I just left like almost halfway.
Oh.
But it was nice. Every year we go. So it was.
I'm gonna change my coloring for you, Alexza. Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow. It matches me anyway still. Mm-hmm. Alexza, is that your Chanel necklace?
Yeah. No, what? It's a shirt. It's a pin.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thought it was a necklace.
No,
because we know that Alexza likes her Chanel. Thanks, Kathy, for saying that. So thank you, Alexza, for joining us, of course, today. We're just going to watch. We're just talking about Jeff's video that he put together. And Jeff, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, Jeff, does a lot of stuff with actually, you explained yourself, because I know that you do videography and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my main bread and butter. Is I sit here at this desk and edit videos for clients. And when I have downtime, I like to put together things that help visualize what we talk about in chat rooms for hours and hours. Unless you're blocked. But, other than that, I just love, that's the main thing. That's how it all started for me, just coming into chat rooms and chatting. And then one day I picked up the phone and I called in. And then another day I was on panel. And then another day I was like, hey, I just sent you a video clip that might support what we're talking about. And that's how it all started. And unfortunately, like the thing that it all started out is sometimes goes away. You get blocked, and it's like, really, what did I say? All I said was hello. Sometimes you don't even get that, and you're blocked.
That's the ridiculous part about this is that Jeff is one of the most amazing, nicest people that I know. Like, he's just so kind, and he's always just so helpful. So whenever he tells me he gets blocked by a channel, I'm like, dude, how are you doing this?
I mean, I can be snarky, and I try to find humor in everything, and I think I'm funny sometimes. But yeah, some people are very irritated with a difference of opinion, especially when the difference of opinion comes at them in a nice form. I guess they're used to like the difference of opinion slapping them in the face with vitriol. I don't do vitriol. I don't even give back vitriol when I get it poured on me. So that's just my thing.
I just find it funny that the stuff like that, because like, honestly, anyone that knows you, they would like, you're one of the nicest people ever. And so it just always gets me when it's like, I get it, because some channels don't
consistently nice, right? You've known me for all this time. Have you ever seen me like, everybody has like goes on a bender or something, but I don't think I've ever shown my arse, as it were. You know, I
mean,
Well,
we've seen you on a bender, but
I'm like, who's blocking? And then
that was a fun night, wasn't it, Adam? That was a fun night. I don't remember most of it. No, I don't even drink. That's the thing. I haven't tasted alcohol in many, many years.
you lost
Didn't
your
even, didn't even do it. And Alexa's gone. It's like, forget it.
I
No
know.
alcohol here.
But it just was funny when was it yesterday that you were asking me, hey, just asking, how does somebody unblock you from being blocked? And I'm just like, well, you just got to go to their channel. And I was like, Jeff, is somebody unblocking you?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, they're like, you know. And it's like, yeah. So
That's the story of my life, is being blocked and unblocked. I'm forgiven for a moment, and then I'm unforgiven, and then.
Oh, and so Daniel says I've been drinking. That's a shocker, to be honest.
That's our favorite version of Daniel.
Yeah.
And TLS.
Yeah, I was clicking on that one, and then all of a sudden you clicked it off. I was going back to that one. We had ketchup chips yesterday too.
We did.
And I got Adam into ketchup chips. I just want to say that
you are responsible for my ketchup chip addiction.
Real Canadian thing to do.
And now it costs other Canadians lots of money to send me Canadian ketchup chips.
Okay, so
right.
Let's
get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Wait, where are you going?
Left you alone.
He's sitting there powering back freaking ketchup chips probably on there. But anyway, so let's watch Jeff. It's like 14 seconds long. It's a really good one. And if you guys don't know who, like I said, Jeff is, I'm just going to drop the link into the chat. Yep, I'm on it right here. I'm just gonna.
Does your YouTube player have a loop function where you can just put it on loop and
it
no, you just hit play again if 14 seconds isn't enough? I should have made it a little longer. But.
No, if I had downloaded it and brought it into StreamYard, I could. So it's I can easily hit play.
I think I must have downloaded some extension because I do have mine is always loop is turned on, but I can't remember how I even got that.
Sonny, before you play that really quick, can I highlight the shade that Mustang just threw?
I was gonna say, was that shade Mustang? I'm not a member, so my opinion doesn't matter. I was just like, did she just say that? Am I taking that the wrong way? Well, you're a member here, Mustang, so you're
Mustang. You better become a member.
Merry Christmas. Okay, so let me make this bigger.
No, and to be for the record, I love Drunk Turkey Show. I think Daniel's awesome.
Of course,
everybody. A lot of people say, "Oh, your kissing is," but I do. I mean, I agree with everything he says. So I don't like all his mods. I love some of them, but I don't love all of them. But that's cool. That's cool. You can't, you know.
As long as you love the boys.
You got to vet the people you hire, I guess.
Well, some people get a little trigger happy, those mods.
Oh yeah.
Like me,
and I'm foolish to like even respond. There was one time I was on there and I told myself, don't respond once, not even once, and they all just went away. They went on for like 5 minutes trying to get me pulled into an argument, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And they went and they found some other victims. So I was like, awesome.
Hey, you know what, Jeff? That tends to be. I mean, I'm not always successful, but that tends to be my MO when it comes to any time drama starts to bubble up.
Yeah.
Adam, you know you love drama. We love talking
if it's not
about
my
it.
own. Yeah.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, we love having a good laugh at it.
One of the things I added onto the video, which is unfortunate because with the compression algorithm for YouTube, it gets kind of lost. But there's like a grainy noise that's applied to the video, kind of like a film grain. And when you apply the grain, it does something where it's like it affects the contrast. So I think, and I was feeling like I could see a little bit more detail in shadow areas. But unfortunately, that nice, fine, perfect grain that leaves my computer when it gets to YouTube, it's kind of,
I know,
kind of messy. So it unfortunately doesn't translate that well.
I mean, the ISP website has the video the 1 point whatever second walk.
That's the only one I ever watch.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, meaning that's the one that I'll use because that's one from ISP for that.
Do you have a link to that? I would love to.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Well, honestly, all you have to do
I
is
should have just
Google.
contacted you before I even started to make this
Yeah,
video.
probably, but you don't think to do that sometimes, do
Probably
you?
contact us before you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? So what did he do in this? Jeff, what did you do in this video? Did you clean it up a little bit?
Well, yeah. So I did a couple things. Like one, I leveled him. You see, he's standing straight up. Most of the videos you see, I think sometimes he's angled just at the angle of the camera that she was holding it. So that's one thing. I put a warp stabilizer on it, so it takes the shakiness out of it. Actually, I had done all 48 frames by hand using like the trees and the bridge to match it up to get rid of the shakiness, and I still wasn't happy with it. And then I went and I just applied the warp stabilizer, messed with a few settings, and I was like, that took like 5 minutes. It's like, and I spent all this time doing it by hand first. But so it's stabilized, so it doesn't shake as much. It's leveled straight. And then I found a looping point. So I watched his leg. When his right leg is about to come down onto the bridge, I then just start the video clip again where his leg is in the same position. So it just loops over and over again. So you get kind of a sense of how he walks within that space of, I guess, 2 steps. You get to left leg, right leg, and then repeat, rinse and repeat. And then I put it so that it doesn't, because he's moving right to left, and then the next clip has got to be a little further left so it lines up. So you get the impression that he's just continuing to walk. And now I know his head is moving in a weird way back. It's resets back to the original position. But I thought it gives you at least a little bit of a sense. I thought maybe it would be easier watching him this way would be easier to get a sense of what he looks like, what his face looks like. Also, too, there's like 2 frames where I guess you can see Abby just to the left of the frame, I guess her arm or her jacket. And what I did is I just kind of edited those 2, just the jacket out to repeat like an arm from a previous, because those 2 flashes of black on the edge of the frame were very distracting. And I figured, and it's to me, you can tell me if you agree, but to me, taking those 2 frames of distraction out make it easier to just focus on him walking the whole time.
Well, one thing I want to say to that is, where did you get the information that was Abby's jacket, besides from some rumor?
Well, whatever it is that's on the edge of the frame, I assume that. Yeah. Is that what it is, or is it something else?
Like no one, we can't ever say it is, because first of all, it's black. I don't believe it's Abby's arm whatsoever. I think that it's kind of like when it's spliced or whatever it is a bit, and then you get that little black thing in it. But
no,
I would never
like something moving that like if she moved to her, to her right and then moved right back. But it could be. I mean, but I got rid of it.
Well, so. I was going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it looks like it's almost partially in that frame on the right there. But that's kind of what happens, like this quick, black line. Like Abby had on a gray jacket, but this black line quickly comes into frame, and then this rumor started happening that it was Abby's thing, but there's no proof of that whatsoever.
It's hard to tell too, because I mean if you look at the sun direction though, like his jacket is very light blue on the left side, but it's very dark blue because of the shadow.
Right.
It would have been the same phenomenon happening to whatever. I mean, it could have very well been her hand. I don't know, or something that was in her hand. Maybe she was holding something. But whatever it was, it's like, as I watched it, I actually had started to post it, and I thought, wait a minute, let me just take those out. I can just repeat the his right arm for those frames. If you look real closely, you can see kind of the split screen of where I did that. But I mean, what do you think? Does this do anything that previous didn't do? Because I mean, I wasn't just setting out to just do what others had done. I was trying to hopefully make it easier to see something.
I've done this multiple times myself, put videos side by side, made it bigger, made it whatever. I know you haven't, like I haven't done one of those probably since about a year ago, maybe less. I don't know, because everyone's trying to understand what's on him. And the bottom line is, for the most part, just like the stuff that we're seeing in there, is that we're seeing people keep saying like that's a shirt, or like that's a white scarf, or that's da 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 da. And so let me put it this way: for individuals that truly try to really look at the pictures, like really more in depth, will have a better understanding. But no one really can say what's on the BG. He's wearing a jacket, he's wearing jeans, he's got a hat on, but we know that there's other elements going on, because no one's ever going to tell me that thing that's underneath his thing is some sort of shirt. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless there's some trimming hanging out somewhere. But I mean, like,
his waistline.
But that's to everyone's opinions, right? Because like this one guy, and you can enjoy your block, doof. This one guy was like, headphones, LOL. Just that comment alone, I was just like, go fuck yourself, dude. Fuck off, block. At the end of the day, this is ISPs, like, meaning that they put out this thing. Like, for me, it's like I said, if I have pictures where you can see the actual round circle on his freaking head, so type of thing. And then on this side that ISP put out, and you can kind of see that, and I've showed pictures of it before, you can see the freaking microphone thing that's right here, like a headset with the microphone thing on there, but that's each to their own.
Do you see it in the still picture right now? Because I'm wondering what I think is a mustache, maybe is what you're saying is a.
I'm talking off to the side of the left side of his ear.
What if you played it in slow motion? To be honest with you, I never played this in slow motion. I was always playing it in
I've played it probably in every freaking motion. But yeah, let me hold on.
Because I was mainly going for trying to simulate a real continuous walk. That was one of the goals.
Yeah. And that's what I took from this. And, for me personally, I enjoyed the video. And I think, everyone tries to understand like what he has on him. And it's getting deceived by light in the legs from the sun, that people are seeing images, too, like myself, but not on so much him. Well, maybe, but, like, I can't really see the crime scene because the crime scene was darker. But this is, like, ISP has this video on their website. I sent you the link in your thing. But the sun obviously is playing a factor here on the jeans and on the jacket, hence why you have the light side, dark side of this.
Now, my initial reaction is to think that that's a flannel shirt that's coming out from under, and it would go longer than his pockets. And because he's got his hands in his pockets, he's kind of pushing up that part of the shirt on the sides, but it's still hanging down low on the front.
So are you talking about right here? Are you talking about here?
Yeah, all that brown in the front. I get the sense that that's like a long flannel shirt in the front.
That's like the only thing I can see, but it looks heavy. It's almost like he has something and it's like, like wrapped up. In my opinion. I mean,
it could be hoodie with a like a kangaroo pouch in the front, or
that's what I was, and he probably stuffed stuff in it because it looks heavy. If you look
in his pocket.
It's a similar color to what's on his head, so maybe it is all one piece or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know where you guys see that myself at all. Like, meaning when it first came out and people kept saying a shirt. There's nothing about that says shirt to it, to be honest with you, in my opinion, at all. Like, I mean, I looked for a shirt, but that thing definitely has a shape that's like a fanny pack thing, but I wouldn't.
I can see that.
Fanny pack. It's
like a fanny pack or like a sweatshirt. Like the ones that have like like you put your hands in it.
Yeah,
like
where the pockets are on either side.
The pockets on the side that you just put your hands in like this. That's
right. And this is the exact thing. Is that I'll say like a kill kit fanny pack, because you can clearly see that it's not a shirt, unless there's like a shirt hanging behind it underneath of some sort. And then someone else will, of course, say that it looks like a shirt. And in my head, I'm like, that's no shirt. Okay. Or somebody will say that person has dog ears on his hat. And I'm like, there's no dog ears on the freaking hat. All right. you know, but, you know,
Right.
and I'll say that there's headphones, that he has headphones, you know, type of thing to on his head. And that wasn't because I wanted to see it. It's because that's what ISP to me showed in that side of his head. And then when you played with the pictures, you go, oh, you know, like freaking, you can see them, you can see the actual, like the gaming headset things, right?
Right. Right.
So that's why it was always strange to me. Like why would some guy, you know, on the back, at first I thought it was a bow and arrow because most people didn't understand that there was something behind his back. But during his little walk there, you always see that thing comes up. And I thought it was a bow and arrow at first. And then after that, I thought it was more like a tripod type of idea. So when I heard tripod recently, because I kept seeing this image of this thing that, you know, like that you would stick it on it, like on a tripod, like a camera on a tripod.
Right.
But then again, you just question yourself because the more you zoom in the images, you know, the more it fucks with your brain, to be honest with you. And then it just, like I said, your mind starts exploding. It's like, is that a scarf? Is it not a scarf? Is it a mask? Is it one of those white masks that you got the string on? You know, what is it? And so everyone's guess is everyone's guess, because honestly, we're never going to find out the answer to that.
We are,
And
but
it's,
we might.
well,
That's why I think it's
one
important
way.
to show, like, because I see a lot of people find things, they say, look at this, and it's a still picture. And I think, well, yes, it looks like that is a still, but what's the frames before it and what's the frames after it? Because it, you know, if things that start moving generally continue moving, right? And they and see, like, I get the sense now. There's no way. Is there a way to show the whole thing full screen?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just so that my name is much bigger. There you go. That's
Hold on, let me just take off the Christmas thing. I hate doing that. Okay. What part are you looking at? Do you want me to play it?
no.
Just let
Yeah,
me play it
just
out.
play it. I was just curious if there's any kind of you get any better sense when it's bigger, but like the movement of his head, I think I'm thinking I'm seeing like a pretty distinct mustache under his nose, and it, to me personally, it matches one of those Richard Allen photos with the blue baseball cap.
Like a goatee. I can see the goatee. I have never been able to see the goatee until now.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Adam?
I was going to say, I think I might be the only person. I've never actually sat there, like, you know, Sunny has taken thousands of pictures of this, you know, and I myself have never been overly concerned with
What he had on
his body at this, you know, in the video. I can say what I see,
yeah.
you know, and I guess that's as qualified as anyone else. But, you know, knowing that Rich Allen had said he might have some, like a brown hoodie on, I see a brown hoodie. I do think there's something of substantial weight in the hoodie or underneath the hoodie that's creating a weighted object inside that little brown bulge there that a lot of people think is a fanny pack. I personally think it's a shirt tail or a hoodie. But again, I know people will argue with me, and that's fine. You know, that's just what I see. Because I think his hand's in his pocket, and I think it's pushing the shirt to the front, and I think there's something inside of that shirt or underneath it that's creating that stabilized weight object that, you know, that you see there.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
As far as, sorry, Alexa?
No, I said it looks stuffed.
Stuffed? Yeah.
Well, his whole thing
Yes.
looked stuffed. His jacket, like everything, like about
Yeah.
that part of his
There's
jacket.
clearly stuff going on there. There is absolutely, there's a scarf, a hood, like something, a white, you know, something under, you know, under his chin there. We know his face was partially covered at one point. You know, if you go off of the witness statements, or his own actually.
Yeah, didn't he admit to wearing some of this clothing?
And he even said his face might have been partially covered at one point. But you know, on top, but as far as like what's all in his jacket, clearly we know there was a gun. We know there was a knife. Those are the only two important things to me.
You know, I for me, I just want to say it's um, for me, it's more a little bit more than that. It's about was there more than one person, and what would be the need for
I
having a
understand.
tripod, headphones to me like that. So that's how I see it from what I'm looking at. Is that because to me that would be telling to me about perhaps if he was communicating with somebody else, or was he just having on headphones just to relax, pretending like he was just chilling that day going down the bridge, with the freaking tripod on his back or whatever and stuff like that.
Getting your
you know
stock updates.
yeah, looking at stock updates and
Looking at
yeah.
the fish from
I
way up
mean,
on that bridge.
I know I mean, you're a lot better than me when it comes to seeing things because that's the one thing I suck. I really never see anything. But the only thing, I mean, I might disagree. I mean, do you think he would have a tripod? Because nobody mentioned he had a tripod. Because that would be very obvious. That would be like pulling attention, like a lot
Well,
of attention.
it's
It seems like it would have a strap though around the front. I actually just bought a tripod that should be here in days, and it's a very small tripod that is small enough to hide like completely behind your back.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
you would
thinking.
need
he
something.
actually
You put it inside the jacket, and maybe what Sunny sees is like that little peak that goes,
Mm.
I see the peak that comes up, but I also see a strap on the jacket as well, but nothing that you guys would see in this picture that I'm looking at. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for the day for personally, like I said, you know, for me, this is anybody's guess. We can argue, like people can argue all day long if that's a shirt, if that's a kill kit, if that's a mask, if that's a scarf, if that's, headphones on him, if that's like what kind of hat that is, right? And the
Right.
thing is that honestly, not one person here knows the answer
Well,
besides him and the police perhaps. No, well, I don't know.
I
Who
don't
How
know.
many
knows?
more?
can
How
we
many
all
more
agree on
frames
one
do you think
thing?
exist?
Does
Yeah.
anyone see a puppy?
A puppy?
Remember remember the dog theory that he was carrying a puppy?
Oh, that he
Seriously?
was. Oh, right,
Oh, like up in his jacket?
right.
I was trying to make light of the situation,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
forgot.
Can we
Yeah,
all just agree on the fact that no one sees a puppy in the jacket?
I don't see a puppy.
I don't either.
I don't see that. I'm still waiting about the
Yeah, I don't think it's a
whole.
puppy. I think he's just glad to see you.
Yeah. The thing is that we're like the jury will see the crime scene photos. So unless someone leaks out more, we're not gonna be seeing
How many
those
more
photos.
frames do you think there are in existence? I mean, so this for me, this was just 48 frames, but what is frame 49
Right.
on?
Well,
How many more are there? He's getting
I'm
closer
not a
to the
math
camera.
expert, Jeff, but if you were to like multiply, we know that this video is 1.2 seconds, I think,
Yeah.
or 1.8.
Something like that. Yeah. 1.1.
If you were to multiply 40, and we know the video is 43 seconds long,
Yeah.
you could probably do that math.
Right.
Well, we know that Tobe said that the video, whatever, was no longer than 2 minutes when he was asked that question. So he said the video wasn't very long, and he said it's no more than 2 minutes. So
Well,
we
most
know.
of those frames must be prior to this, I would think, like the long walk
Yes.
up to here.
Yeah, no, they said this comes
Right.
at the end. They said this comes towards the end of the video.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
I mean, if as he's getting closer, it should be easier to make out his face the closer he gets.
You would think,
Right.
because it's
Yeah.
a video. It's not a picture. It's a video. So you
Right,
can bring
and
the
if it
video
was
forward.
the I mean, I don't know if the original video is of a higher quality than this, if this is degraded
No.
because of copies or
Well, you can go check that out later. I sent you
This
the
is an
link.
iPhone 7 or
Yeah.
iPhone 5 or iPhone 7.
iPhone. Oh, I don't even remember now. I don't remember.
I mean, like that photo of Libby on the bridge is a really nice. I mean, I know video is always going to be less than the still photos on the phone, but quality wise, but
It's and even so, like 1 minute, like it looks like you see a mustache, and then at some points it doesn't. But I think that there is a goatee mustache thing going on.
because it moves in conjunction with the rest of his head. It's like it does, it's in sync with the turn of his head. So that's why I was.
Well,
Yeah,
I want
one
you
thing
to.
one thing I definitely don't see is a 70-some-year-old man.
No.
I do not see Ron Logan.
And I don't see a young man either.
No,
I always
no.
said I can see a 40, 40 to 50.
You know, when I first started watching this, this thing should be able to play loop for frick's sakes. But when I first started watching or coming across the Delphi case, I was like, there's no way this is freaking some 20-year-old kid thing. Hi, Steffa. I was like, no, this guy's like 45 to 55 years old. And it was only because of that younger picture that they put out that I was like, that's when I, obviously I changed my tune, because I'm like, well, they're not going to put out this new picture if they didn't have something to support that. But to me, when I first saw this case, I was like, no, there's no way that this person's this young kid. This is definitely, by voice, by picture, this is definitely a 45 to 55-year-old guy, but then they came out with that young guy sketch, which totally threw the whole case out of whack. Like, honestly, it did. So, that's where I kind of shit on their direction that they did, because there's a whole difference between who was arrested, which is Richard Allen, versus some 20-year-old sketch that they did. And on their own site, I mean, hell, on their own site, they had reddish brown hair. They had that he was this height to this height, and eventually, what, a year and a half ago, they took all the measurements down. But on their own site, they had two things. They had one that said 18 to 30 and one that said 18 to 40. They never should have messed with this first picture, to be honest with you, the first bridge guy, and if anything, maybe tweaked it a little bit. But how do you go from a sketch having a hat, which clearly the bridge guy has a hat on, but how do you go from having a hat, and more defining features in the first sketch, and then you have this freaking clean-faced boy sketch with little brown hair waving around, and you're just like, how do you make, like, you would think you would try to make it more representative of the bridge guy, because he does have a hat on, but it was just so odd. Like, meaning, to me, it was just the biggest fuck up ever. One of the biggest things that they did. And then for the family to find out that, hey, guess what? Now we're just going to claim, well, sketches or pictures, a picture, a sketch is a sketch, and, sketches and a picture. And I think if you combine the two, well, why didn't they combine the two a long time ago then? Combine them then. And then put out a better sketch of your representative. But don't sit there and go, well, if you take this one and you take that one, then you combine it. I don't know. And to me, it was just more of selling bullshit up the river, in a sense, to people, and them justifying, well, see, we always told you it wasn't just, anyways.
Sonny, I don't know if you've exhausted this topic, but I sent you a download link, a Google Drive download link to download the actual video of this, before, prior to YouTube compressing it. I don't know if playing that video from your end is a sharper quality than
you can watch the original video on ISP's website.
No, but I mean the edit that I did where I added some film noise is destroyed by YouTube on this. But the one I just sent is, because I mean it looks of a better quality looking at it on my computer here, but I know we're going over the internet and everything.
Yeah, let's just see.
Only if it's quick, and if you're still interested. If this is exhausted, we can,
Hey, Jeff, that sounds like a good time. Only if you're interested. Only if you have time and you're interested.
Jeff, I'm going to be honest. It actually looks worse looking at what you just sent me.
What?
It does to me.
What the heck?
Let me.
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
I'm on a PC. Come on.
Oh, I gotta go. I'll see you.
Thank you. I'm right there with you, Jeff.
1 second.
All right, Adam, let's get out of here. Come on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Cancel.
I'll see you in iOS.
Let me hit play. Whoops, video file. Okay, so this is the one that you just sent me. So you guys tell me, does it seem clear or more fuzzier? Because it seems fuzzier to me.
Fuzzier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, it's kind of like the picture thing. When
Lost in translation.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 second here. The one thing that, so how many people here, first of all, in chat, out of how many ever people are watching? And again, just hit one. There's 96 people watching.
Yeah. How
Please
many
hit
think
that
Jeff
like.
should be blocked? Hit 1 if you think Jeff should be blocked. Hit
Yeah.
2.
See, even they agree, fuzzier. How many
Someone
people
did
in
ask
this
if Jeff was single.
Single,
No.
are you a single Pringle?
No,
Yeah?
no.
No, he's married.
Only on
Married
Thursdays.
and harried.
How many people, just hit 1 if you think that Richard Allen is the bridge guy? I don't care about number 2s on this one. Just 1 if you think that Richard Allen is the bridge guy. That's on here. And I'm just going to hit stop there. There's something. Where's the picture that I wanted?
I'm going number 1.
Where's the picture that it's really pissing me off because I literally just went over to your thing to grab the picture.
Yeah, Ryan, you're right. It is so much like the Bigfoot films. Or the Zapruder film, where it's just like,
come on, zero cool.
The one
Charmaine.
moment where you want to see it nice and. Why couldn't they have had an iPhone 15 on that bridge?
Right? We wouldn't be sitting here doing it this day if that was the case.
And I wish they would have gone and just pushed his ass off the bridge. I just like to have a time machine. I would have that's terrible to say. I can't kill a spider, but I'd push the guy off the bridge. Well, but it's because I know the future. That's different.
Yeah. So I want to go back to something.
Look at the white thing white thing under his chin. It looks like a question mark.
Well, I know right there it does, doesn't it?
That's what it's not a puppy at all. It's a question mark.
Okay, present, share screen. So for me personally, I guess I could put us to the side. No, I'll leave it up like here for a second. For me personally, so there's Richard Allen, of course, to the right. Now, if there's only anything that actually truly stood out to me, it was let's see, can you guys see my cursor at all here or no? Or is
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, hold on. No, it's okay because I got 2 pictures open. Can you see it here now?
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay. So if there's anything to me of really truly what would make me believe it was Richard Allen is that, and this is always better to look at when it's smaller, because when it's smaller and not brought out to you guys in big form is truly when you can see it, like, meaning if it's just like a little picture sent to you, you can see the characteristics of the face a little bit better than the way I'm showing it to you now. But if there's one thing that stood out to me, it's the nose, because in the BG to me, and like, I know that this is off of yours here, your video, but if there's one thing that was always distinct to me is that Richard Allen has a very droopy nose. And when I look at this nose that's in here, not counting the eyes or anything, just the nose, there's a very droopy nose with those little slanty nostrils. But I know when you look at it here, it's not as pronounced as when it's in smaller form when you're looking at it. But that's what always, once I saw the nose to Richard Allen and the BG, I was like, oh, dude, that's your nose. Because he has a very distinct droop in the front of his nose. And then he has the little slats that go up. And again, this isn't depicting it as best. I'm just using it because I was when I was showing just in a conversation with Jeff, I was like, it's the nose. That's what,
I think for me, it's the nose, the mustache, and the slope of his shoulders. Those are the 3 things, because I think the slope of the shoulder, the angle of his shoulders slope matches the bridge guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that picture of him with the sunglasses, that's around the same time of the murders, of the unalivings.
The what?
The picture of him with the sunglasses on his hat, that picture was roughly around the time of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's more his physique. Yeah. Alexa, do you try to say something?
Yeah, no, I was trying to say that. I'm sorry, interrupt. That the chin, like in here, I can definitely see the chin. Like
But
I can see R's chin.
but the chin's actually not there in that picture.
Well, I see it.
That's actually not the chin, because if you
Like
look
from
where
the nose to the lips and like the start of the chin.
Yeah, I
well,
kind of see the chin in there, I think, right
Even
above
well,
the white, I think
even though
is,
he has it down, yeah.
well,
I think.
let me just say
It
this.
is hard to tell.
This is where the end of the nose is, right here. Okay, that's where this person's nose ends. There's no way that it goes right into the chin right here, because this white thing that he has on is in this particular frame, it's in the way of this picture. So if his nose ends here, there's no way that his chin is right up there, because this white,
No,
whatever
I
you want
think
to
the
call it,
dark, I think it goes from white to the dark area. That's his chin. And then the mustache in that
down.
picture is kind of hard to see. It's almost the same shade as, his skin. Because you see his nose and his mustache are actually, there's no space between them. So that dark area that's kind of in the grainy picture, that dark area that's kind of an arc, that couldn't be his mustache, because that would give him like a mile between his nose and his mustache. So that's got to be his chin.
Where here?
Yeah, so you're pointing right now what I think is kind of part of the beginning of his beard, the lower beard.
Yeah,
It's really hard. It's really hard to tell, but it can't be his mustache, because that would put like such a huge gap between the mustache
well,
and the nose.
if his nose ends
Like
here,
Gandalf, if he was Gandalf, then maybe. But
yeah, I see, and this again, right? Because to me, it's like that's one of those things. There's
can you
there's
bring up my picture next to it,
that
like a still picture from that YouTube video, and side by side it?
this is your picture from your video.
That's from mine.
Yeah, that's from yours.
Oh, okay.
I was trying. I just had it. It was one of the best pictures. But let's go back just quickly. We'll go back.
That's because it's Richard Allen, and everyone's arguing about something that isn't relevant, because that's Richard Allen on the bridge.
It's whether or not you're being right, So it's just really if you believe, if it's Richard Allen, and for me, it's again, I had to step back, and once we seen Richard Allen and go, holy shit, does he look like KD as a younger version? But once I saw the nose, because now we had someone arrested, and we could then go, oh, finally we can actually look at someone, to compare it against, instead of all these 90 other people, including mine POI. Right. Like I said.
Can I ask a question really quickly? And I'm not trying to be sweet. Dude Shibby or Shibby says FBI did not think so. When has the FBI ever given input on Richard Allen? If you can give me any confirmed information that the FBI has put out on Richard Allen, I would appreciate that, because I've never heard any indication the FBI gave on them thinking it was Richard Allen or not.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. What was that pertaining to? FBI didn't think so.
We were talking about, he was asking about the height. And I had said that, what I heard was that how can they make such a big mistake? How can the FBI make such a huge mistake? And what I remember hearing was that the height originally came from a professor, from a university professor and their students.
Right.
But the FBI never corroborated it. They never went and said, hey, they're right, they're wrong. Never. They just went with it. It lead too.
Whoops. That's true. So they deemed it, the students had the whole, what do you want to call it? I can't think of it. The whole, equation, from top to bottom of how they came up with 6'10", what was it? Say it for me again, Ellen. 5'10" and a half. 5'10" and a half. That they had the BG's height. So there was time, but it wasn't something that was ever confirmed.
But remember,
the FBI
I have a question. But didn't the FBI remove the height from their description?
Excuse
So,
me. Hold on.
with
1 second. Excuse me, Cecil. I'm sorry. I think I give the panel lots of times to speak.
Oh.
I think that's
Thank
kind of
you,
rude.
Cecil. I was wondering when somebody was going to say.
But no,
You're leaving.
if the FBI, originally thought that there was, a credible height that they could attribute to the bridge guy, if they later learned that the information they had was not correct, or they had more current information that allowed them to have a better idea of the height of BG, or at least better information that told them that the height they put out originally was not correct, that would lead to them removing the height from the information looking into BG. Hence, then Richard Allen comes into play. So I've never heard that the FBI disagrees that Richard Allen is the bridge guy.
I'm sorry. Cecil, would you like me to let others speak right now? Alexza or Jeff? Do you have
Sonny.
Oh, thank you, Sonny. That is so polite of you. I appreciate that.
When somebody rubs me the wrong way, they're going to hear it. That rubbed me the wrong way, considering I was like, really? I don't let others talk. Okay. But anyways, go ahead, Alexza.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I just don't understand how can Ellie or the FBI never corroborated the height. I mean, that seems like such a big mistake. I mean, one of the many mistakes, but I guess it is what it is, and what can we do?
I'm sorry, Sonny. Gosh, let somebody. No, I was gonna say if this bridge guy video is actually zoomed in tighter than the actual video, where the actual original is wider, it seems like they could take, like, they know the width of the bridge, they can figure the angle of the shadows from the sun. They ought to be, I don't know, maybe it's been done already, but it seems like you ought to be able to kind of estimate, like, with the angle of the sun and with how far that shadow goes across to the other side of the bridge, like roughly how tall he is. I don't know. I wish he would just say whether it's him or not. Why can't people just be honest and just
well, hey, Jeff, I don't know if you followed the Delphi case, but he actually has.
Yeah. Oh no, he's confessed, right?
Like 5 or 6 times.
But people still don't. They think it's like, well, what is they're thinking that well, we'll give you food if you confess. Is that the kind of thinking that most people have that don't?
I don't know. I think that he was so afraid of the Odinist guards, but I mean I think the exact phrase was that he confessed to what he was charged with, which is murder, killing the girls. Mm-hmm. So no one has heard those tapes, not me, not anyone else. So I don't know what they contain, but if they're willing to say that they contain him admitting to the crime as charged, I think that's an incredibly huge weight on this case that no one puts enough weight on.
Right.
I think a lot of people talk about the whole bullet evidence and things like that, and that's incredibly compelling. But I mean, if you have 5 or 6 taped phone calls of Richard Allen telling people that he committed this crime, that's substantial. And I think people overlook it because they don't understand it because they haven't heard it. And that's I get that. But
why doesn't
you can't ignore it?
If I was his, if it seemed like a spouse would hearing, well, she would have heard his confession, but does she not believe it? Is that because, I mean, if she believes it, if he's confessed and she believes it, it seems like the proper thing to do would be, okay, you just have to face the consequences for what you've done. This is, it's wrong to know what you did and confess to what you did. And as the spouse, is it right for you to then keep quiet about it, or to
Well,
unless she doesn't actually believe it.
We don't know what action that Kathy Allen took after those phone calls. What we know is that he stopped making phone calls after April 3rd, until at least the point where that document was written, I believe in June, where it was referenced. We know that we know that Elvis Fields also, apparently told his sister that he committed this crime. That shouldn't be discounted. But apparently when it came time to do DNA, when it came time for Elvis Fields to talk to police, he did not say he committed this crime. They also then excluded him as, the perpetrator because, one, he wasn't there, and two, they have more information than us. So,
doesn't it seems to me that anybody that knows him would recognize whether or not his voice is saying "down the hill." I mean, it's such a distinct voice. I would know that if I heard that. That either is him or it isn't him. Even if he's somewhat disguising his voice, it's just that, guys, down the hill. It's just got such a distinct tone. I hope that didn't sound too much like you're going to think it's me.
The way he walks is also very distinctive.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
as a wife, I mean, I can recognize. I mean, sometimes when we go out and my husband is really far away, just by the way he walks, I am able to spot him. So how can you not do? I mean, I think it's denial. I think could be one. Could be, she's also the victim psychologically.
And I just think, you look at the picture of these two girls, and I think to myself, if I saw and I was like, that is my spouse, that's my spouse's voice, that's my spouse's walk, and these two young girls no longer here, that is just immensely unfair and cruel and evil. And I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna go with this charade, and
agreed.
You're certainly not gonna, it's just the right thing to do. Sort it out in heaven or the other place, but
can I say something really quickly? I want to say to Sweet Dude Shibby, no, I don't think you're trolling at all. I appreciate your comments, and I wasn't trying to be argumentative with you. Sweet Dude Shibby says, I'm not trolling. I thought FBI made the height measurement that LD removed prior to arresting RA. Yeah, I don't know who made the call for that being removed, but the height was removed. The only thing I was referencing was I've never heard anyone from the FBI refute that Richard Allen, is not Bridge Guy. So, but no, we appreciate your comments. So thank you.
When it comes to the height, that's one thing in itself that really pisses me off, because they could have cleared that up. Yeah. It's not going to take a freaking rocket science to figure out between the bridge and how tall he was. What did they have originally? Was it 5'6" to 5'8"? And then they had 5'6" to 5'10". They changed it a few times. And I'm thinking, and kind of like the science school that did the thing saying that the bridge guy was 5'10" and a half. This is where I want to go over there and shake their freaking heads and be like, can't you just give us some more accuracy? Like, I'm sure that they could clear up the BG's height within, 5'4" to 5'6". Okay, right. I mean, we all know that Richard Allen is like freaking 5'6" or whatever. Says on his thing 5'4", but it's just this whole shit that they've done on the ISP. They posted that it was red brown hair. They changed his height. They changed his weight a few times, and they eventually took the shit down and just left it with nothing.
Well, I mean, where was the mugshot that we have of Richard Allen that was standing by the height chart? Is that at West? It's not Westville. Is it Westfield? Or was it White County? Whatever. After he was arrested, he was transferred to a facility. I think it was White County, right? Or Howard County?
Yeah. You know what? I can't remember which county.
And then he was transferred to Westville?
Yeah.
If you look at their website, they have pictures of people standing by the exact same height chart that Richard Allen is standing by, it should not be hard to determine his height, because if you look at him standing at that height chart, you should be able to determine it by
taller than
his
5'4".
height.
And he was what, 5'6"?
He was actually a little bit taller than that. So granted for the fact that he would have had footwear on. But if you, and the cinder blocks go from like 2.
Right. They're 2 inches in between.
Yeah. So there's no way he was 5'4", even though it says it on his, when he was, like arrested or had a citation, whatever before. It says 5'4". Now, when you look at their own picture, there's no way you can get 5'4" from somebody that's showing that they're about 5'7", but with footwear on, take away about an inch, right? For footwear, for those cloggy things that they have on. And again, it becomes this huge discussion about his height again, when they could have cleared up this shit a long time ago, really, because again, if they can send a freaking spaceship to the moon, they can sit there and figure out how tall this bridge guy is, based on the length of that bridge to the height. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be that difficult, you would think. But no, they wanted to toss out different heights and weights, then change it, then totally give you a different description. And then they wanted to take it all down. And it really, to me, I just blame all this shit on Ellie and their basically their shit way negligence of everything about this case. I really am very angry at how they handled this case from start to finish, and they've made no qualms about, to me, to the public, about why this has turned into such a circus. They can thank themselves, to be honest with you. They really cleared nothing up. They could have cleared up the sketches more. They could have cleared up the height more. They could have cleared up a lot of things,
Right.
But that's how.
Speaking of, hey Todd.
Hey Todd.
Sunny, do you think he had glasses on?
If Todd says so, I think so. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I do want you guys.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I do want you guys in chat to ask Alexza some questions. So if you guys have questions for Alexza, again, a lot of this live was going to be about asking Alexza some questions and answers.
And I wanted to say something before, because somebody was asking, but just give me 1 second. I just need to blow my nose so I can blow my ear a little bit so I can hear.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely, Alexza.
I have to use my machine, so I'll mute myself 1 second.
Yeah. I do have some footage from the prosecutor's podcast that I asked Brett if I could take some clippings from their podcast that they did. And if you guys don't know who they are, honestly, you should go listen to them as well. Because what I feel like is happening here, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, I don't know about Jeff so much because, like I said, we follow the case religiously. I really feel like it feels like that the defense side is everyone's banning for Richard Allen instead of the prosecutor side. When you listen to Alice and Brett, and you listen to the balance of both defense diaries and Alice and Brett, I really like Alice and Brett, but I keep feeling like they get tons of views on theirs, meaning the defense diaries. And then the prosecutor's podcast doesn't seem to get as much. And I just feel like, like at the end of the day, it's about Abby and Libby. And I just feel like it seems like more people are rooting about the fact of Richard Allen, and all these things. But anyways, there's some clippings that I'll play later. And it just gives people a food for thought. I just feel it's a little bit unbalanced out there about what's going on with the whole Richard Allen thing and the mistreatment of him being in prison and stuff like that, and why those lawyers were removed. Me and Adam don't believe that those lawyers are coming back, nor do we feel like Judge Frangol will be removed from it ourselves. And I think it's probably going to end up that way. Do you think so still, Adam? Adam, did he like... Adam, if you're talking, you're muted. Okay, so Adam snuck off. I gave him his chance, so for fuck's sakes, I gave him his chance. Because Jeff, I don't think you don't know so much more about that stuff. I know that. Question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know just a little bit about the the lawyers but yeah, not enough to make an intelligent statement. Except that statement right there. Was that intelligent at all?
Ryan says, question. Do they not have location / timestamp info when Rick Allen's phone? We never hear about that. Do they not have the location and timestamp? Well, I mean, honestly, that's information that's not out there, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I know equally nothing about that as well.
Adam, I love how he's. Did you even see "Be Right Back," buddy?
Just hope he washes his hands after.
There, Cecil's back on my side again. I do agree. So many RA fans, prosecutors. It is a great channel. I like balanced thinking.
Sonny, what's your with regards to the Odinism stuff? Do you see any validity to any of that?
No.
I don't either, from what little I know. I mean,
no, there's nothing to show it. Honestly, there's nothing to show it. And it's not hard to look at what's before you from that thing. But yeah, no. I mean,
is it just coincidence that it looked like something similar? Like you could come upon somebody that's passed away and say, look, it looks like they're riding a motorcycle. Their hands are straight out and their legs are bent. Is it that kind of a thing, do you think? Or I'm going to put sticks on top of the bodies to try and cover them up. And somebody comes along and says, oh my gosh, look at the way the sticks are. Just happens to be, looks like something I've seen in Odinism or...
honestly, and Alexza, you can put your thoughts to this again, like you did the other night. I feel like the sticks were placed there as if it was to make it seem like perhaps it's some weird freak show thing going on with some ritualistic thing. Perhaps
right.
They weren't just thrown on there; they were placed a certain way for whatever reason. But Alexza, go ahead and say what you said the other day.
I believe, honestly, I think the sticks have a meaning to him. I don't think they were just placed there. At the beginning, when I heard that there were sticks, I said, okay, so maybe he covered the bodies. A lot of them cover the bodies. But when I saw the description and, of the crime scene, I looked at the sticks and they are methodically put. So either he used them to kind of keep the body, I guess, to pose them, or, there has to be a meaning to him. I don't think there's any Odinism. I don't think there's anything like that. But I do believe he put the sticks for a reason. What reason that is? I've been, doing my head. I'm like, the only thing I can think, because they're both, they both have one under the basically going across, and then two parallel to each other. I'm thinking maybe he wanted to post them a certain way, and we all know that when somebody dies, you have to, but before the rigor mortis stage starts, you want to maneuver them, I guess, and if you want a particular pose, you have to do something to keep them like that. So I'm thinking maybe that was the reason, or was he trying to put more stuff and something happened and he left? But I don't think so. I think it has, but I do believe the sticks have a meaning to him.
Now, do you think he'll confess again? And if he does, whoever he confesses to, can they say, wait, before you change your mind or get off on another tangent subject, explain the sticks? Is it...
I would hope. I mean, I from my own head and I would pray that they would do. I don't know if he will ever confess completely.
Yeah.
That we will know every single detail that we want to know. But, and also depends on the lawyers, right? I mean, if they have the lawyers that they had before, I think they're going to say, no way, you don't confess, you don't say anything. But maybe with new lawyers, hopefully they'll take him around another area. But I mean,
even in Odinism, I imagine there was a first Odinist to place things in a certain pattern. Why can't it just so happens that in this case, he was doing something similar.
Mm-hmm.
It just like Daniel, I saw that comment that Daniel just made,
Mm-hmm.
that it just, for gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And just this feels like it's some ritualistic thing to me. And lo
Mm-hmm.
and behold, it just so happens it looks similar to, the sticks end up looking similar to something else. I could scribble something on a piece of paper and say, oh, look, hey, that's right off of tarot
And I
card.
think that's what they use. I think that's exactly what the lawyers did. That the lawyers, because I mean, I obviously, whoever came to the scene at the very beginning, they all thought that the sticks were some type of signature. That he had left some type of signature, and they had to mean. And yeah, it's true. That could be his. If he would have killed again, maybe that could be his
Yeah.
signature. We don't know that.
Or somebody comes up along behind it and says, you know what, this almost looks like Odinism. If you just move this one stick and this one stick, look, that's an Odinism symbol with just moving those two sticks into a proper place.
Like the asterisk. I mean, like where can I don't see it. I definitely don't see it, but a lot of people went with that, and that's what they go with. But I don't think so. And that's what I wanted to say, because a lot of I got like two people were asking me that they don't understand the MO and what's the MO and the signature. So MO is the modus operandi. So it's like the operating method. It's like a distinct pattern of manner that a criminal does. And I know it's a little confusing, but I'm going to give you the perfect example that I thought today. So Alexza likes to commit crimes every Friday night. So every Friday night, Alexza goes and she decides that she's going to unalive people. And the way she does it is she captures her victims and she zip ties her victims. So all Alexza's victims were found zip tied with their hands in the back with the zip tie. So that would be my MO. It would be Alexza's MO would be the zip ties. The signature would be the zip ties are pink. The pink color doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Uh-oh, you froze. It kind of reminds me of that movie Home Alone, where the burglars would always flood the basement of the house that they burglarized.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexa's frozen.
I was on your video page, so yeah, Alexza, good fight. We'll just leave her like that for a moment, I suppose, eh? Adam, are you back yet? Adam.
Oh, I'm here. No, I've been here.
Well, you didn't answer like the 2 times I called your name.
Oh, sorry.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you on your phone again swiping?
I don't.
Whoops, it's just us 3. She'll be back. We'll just stay like this.
I don't online date. So I don't swipe at all.
Yeah. Uh-huh. He's such. Oh, there she is.
Oh my God, what happened? I'm like talking and I'm like, oh,
you froze. It wasn't a very pretty. No, go ahead.
You were just finishing talking about the color pink, like is your signature.
Yeah.
So that would be the difference. So the MO would be all my victims were found with a zip tie, but my signature would be that the zip ties are pink. And then that color pink doesn't mean anything to anybody. It doesn't have anything for the crime either, but it means to me, to the killer, the signatures mean something to the killer. It's almost like their stamp, like your original stamp. It's like that's why they're called signatures. Actually, they're called calling cards, but anyway, that's what it is. So that's the difference, because a lot of people were confused.
I know, because it does, right?
Was this his MO or was it?
Yeah, right. Sweet. We got to do a topic on that one. I remember.
So if anyone's ever hanging out at Alexa's house and she pulls out pink zip ties for whatever reason, just know where the door is, know where your exits are.
Hey,
right.
If I'm ever at Alexa's house and she pulls out pink zip ties, I'm kicking my shoes off.
Now we know.
You're putting Netflix on.
right? So yeah, so that's that. I mean, do I believe? I mean, I personally always believe that he posed the victims. He posed them because I believe that
That is weird.
he had to. This was a fantasy of him, and he wanted to leave, especially Libby. He left her in a way that it was humiliating to her and for anybody that would find her. And you can see the contrast. Abby was left. I think Abby was just collateral damage. He didn't mean to kill her, and I think that's why she was redressed and put like that in a way. And the other day we spoke about, the psychopaths. Can they feel remorse? Not to the point that we feel remorse, but sometimes they do feel bad. And they can actually love people. Some of them do love their families. And sometimes they do feel bad. And I think he, in his sick little mind, he did feel bad for her. And that's why she was redressed.
Right.
Put a little bit of dignity back to her. But now with Libby, that was a fantasy. We don't know what he did. And we don't even know if we will ever know. He could have pledged her himself, and that's the thing that he will have attached to her for the rest of
Well,
his life.
Alexa, Anne says, question for Alexa. Given what we know about RA's otherwise humdrum life, do you think he went there with the bold intent to commit a fatal assault or just some CSAM that got out of control?
I think he went there to for the kill. I
Yeah,
honestly think he
I think
went
so.
there for a kill. That was his purpose. I think this was something that it was in his head for a long, long time, and I do believe there
I
has
agree.
to be a trigger in his life. Something happened in his life that he
Yeah.
went that he went
Thanks,
from
Babs.
being a fantasy to let me go and commit it. And I would love to know what what was going on in his life. That's the one question I would ask him. What was the trigger in his life? Was it the fact that the daughter was leaving? The fact that the daughter was got engaged and she was going to get married? Because I think the daughter has, believe it or not, I always believe the daughter has something to do with this. I don't know if he had a fantasy with the daughter. I think the daughter will be, I don't know. I mean, I can't say what I really think, but I don't know. I think the daughter might play
Bigger role.
I
a
agree.
bigger role.
And Adam, you've said that too. And Adam King, and then we'll get to the next question for Alexa. Adam, um, why do you agree about that? What's your reasoning with the daughter? You think that the daughter had a
Um,
bigger role?
we, I mean, I think that Brittany, which is Richard's daughter, um, is probably a victim in this as well. I mean, Richard's family, of course, would be a victim in this if he's guilty. But I do believe that we're going to see when this trial finally comes to light, if it ever does, that Brittany Allen is going to play a larger role. I believe it's telling that she's never attended any of the hearings
Hmm.
for Richard Allen, nor has her husband. Um, and I think the two of them are going to end up playing more of an integral part um, in
In the
the
case?
motive or the way that law enforcement came across Richard Allen. So that's my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah.
But I do feel confident about that.
I agree.
Okay. And
He might
Todd,
be a victim,
oh,
one of his first victims. We don't know. I mean, I don't want to go there because that's not my. I don't want to go really there, but I do have that idea.
Todd says at Alexa, why would a criminal wear his own clothes, drive his own car, and walk in front of people in broad daylight, knowing he was going to commit murder? Curiously inexplicable to me.
Because
Inexplicable.
they're narcissists. They're people that they think they're better than everybody, and that they're not going to get caught. That that they don't. I mean, if it would have been him, I would have went somewhere else. Usually they have areas. They have uh, geographical areas where they go. Usually they don't do it in there. I mean, some of them do, depending how cocky they are, but most of them They have their areas. But I think with most of them is they do it because they think they are better and they will never get caught. And that's why all of them do it.
Well, Alexza, to your point, someone, and I would like your opinion on this because someone mentioned it to me recently, and we've talked about it before. But if you believe that Richard Allen or whoever committed this crime parked at the CPS building, we all I think can agree that it's not the closest or most direct spot to park if you're going to the trails, especially if you're going there with a purpose and with a time limit. So if someone parks at the CPS building and they back into the spot, concealing their license plate, because Indiana does not require front license plates, I find it interesting when people are like, well, it doesn't make sense that Richard Allen would have parked there because then he would have been seen. And, whether you believe it was Richard Allen or anyone, we know that law enforcement was looking for a vehicle parked at the CPS building. Mm-hmm. We know that Richard Allen said he parked at the old Farm Bureau building. And we know that his vehicle was presumably seen on the the Hoosier Harvest Store camera footage at 1:27 p.m. But so if anyone parks at the CPS building, and someone uses the argument that someone that wants to commit this crime, they go there to commit this crime, would not park there because they're going to be seen by people. Mm-hmm. Isn't that argument moot because they were seen by people? Many people, actually, if you think about it. I mean, there were 3 to 4, adolescent girls or underage girls that, said they saw Richard Allen or they saw someone matching Richard Allen's description approaching the trails that day. We know Betsy Blair said she saw someone. We know Sarah Carborough says she saw someone. So, I mean, there are multiple people that saw this individual. So to me, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense that someone would park there, but they did, and they were seen because of it. Mm-hmm. Am I dumb?
No, you are not. And also the way he parked, like, why would he even try to conceal the license plate? Why wouldn't he just park normally or went and park where everybody parks? That's like also the biggest thing too, because obviously he didn't want to. What I don't understand is he was very familiar with this area, obviously, but I guess he didn't take into consideration cameras. I guess he didn't know that camera was going to be there. I guess he never paid attention, and that tells you those little details is what leads me to believe that he's never done this before, and this was his first time, because he made like such a stupid little mistakes that maybe if he would have committed the second time, he would have never made them. So,
right.
Oh yeah, I always believe. I think he knew. I always believe that somebody was catfishing, and maybe he went in. Like I always thought maybe Kagan was involved, and he maybe bought the information off Kagan. Obviously, apparently that's a dead end, and that didn't happen that way. And usually in law, they always tell you that there's no coincidences, that everything at the end has to be connected. But this case has taught me that there's a lot of coincidences, and you just have to say it is what it is, because I never seen anything like this. But I guess it's a small town, a lot of perverts, and this poor girl.
One sec.
Hey, Sonny, Diana just gave me a $3 super check. Can you just send that over when you're?
Yeah, no problem.
Right now, later.
I'll get right on that. That was specifically for you. No problem. Tommy, can you hear us? He's probably sitting in here watching us right now in his recliner. he can hear us. But anyways, thank you, Diana S, for that. And sorry it cut you off, but
No, it's okay. No. No, so it is what it is. I obviously, apparently he's not involved. But I always believe that I think he targeted them, and I think he either stalked them online, but I know he knew they were gonna be there, and that's another thing is how did he get to Libby? Because I think it was Libby. I think his target was Libby. How did he get to her?
poor Libby, poor
Did
Abby.
he stalk her? Did he, you know? And look at because if he just wanted to, if this was a payback, and a lot of people are like, oh, maybe it was like a drug thing and everything, then it wouldn't be the manner that a person is killed. It's either personal or impersonal. And this one is a very personal because if it's somebody that owes you money, whatever, you just take a gun. Why are you gonna get your hands literally dirty and do all this thing? You just go and shoot somebody. But this was definitely personal. A knife.
Thank you, Cindy.
You get up close and personal to the victim. So this is a personal kill.
And Richard Allen did photo developing and printing at CVS, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Do you think there's any possibility? Maybe I'm thinking of that Robin Williams movie where he was real creepy and worked in a photo department. 1 hour photo,
movie's been referenced a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that he had the pleasure, at least for himself, of looking at the photos of strangers, but this is just photos. It's just on paper, and whatever other things he ruminated about and fantasized about had to be brought into reality. And who knows, is a possibility he took pictures of these victims and did anything with them at CVS or printed them and then maybe burned them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big possibility. That maybe that's how he started. He noticed Libby, who she was, maybe in a picture, and then he started getting obsessed. Like basically like the movie. If anybody has never seen the movie, it's a really good movie.
We don't
know. Drunk Turkey says, if you're in an area where the murder, shit.
One more time.
What was that?
So we're gonna have 2 of those. That one was Cecil. Thank you so much, Cecil Hotel. Sunny, apologies, not my intentions. I'm old and dopey. So is Sunny.
What? Okay. No, Cecil, it's one of those things is that sometimes if I see a comment and I'm like, hold on, but we were all talking there. So, and there are times, don't get me wrong, there's times during a live I'm like, hey, Adam, sorry, dude, I probably talked pretty much the whole damn show and stuff. But I do try to be aware that there's other guests here and let them talk, and I listen a lot. So, anyways, all love there, dude. Okay, all love. Yeah. I said, dude.
Super chat. $5. Thank you.
$5 war. Is it going off right here? So anyways, back to Cecil. Sorry. I said dude, but I just was saying that as general. But anyways, Cecil, all good. So, I just, sometimes I was just like, I didn't think I was talking a lot. But anyway, all good, dude. And Kathy, thank you so much for the super sticker as well. And I'm sorry, but for me, it does kind of break it up sometimes when, like we're talking about a heavy topic and then, Tommy comes in my head playing it right now and stuff like that. I know depending, but anyways, I know sometimes people might find it a bit intrusive when a super chat happens and that. Let's be fair. In this channel, we don't get a ton of them. So I like to appreciate the people that do them. And sorry if they went off when there's a little bit more people on the panel than normal in a sense. But thank you guys. Okay, so let me go back to what Drunk Turkey had said there. So if you're at an area where the murders did I read that? Okay, where the murders would occur and they parked at the cemetery to prepare the scene, if his victims were selected before and knew they were on the okay. Jeff.
$5,
He-
thank you.
That's
I
Jeff.
really like the show, but that Jeff H guy, nah,
Yeah.
not so much.
Jeff.
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
Support the Steph is super chat. $4.99. Thank
Ooh.
you. Sending the panel my eternal love. 2 hearts. I'm highly educated.
Thank you guys. So you can blame Jeff for that last one, Alexa.
Best $5 I ever spent.
And then Steph is like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go a penny under Jeff on this one. And I'm going to blow up the thing right behind him. But anyways, that when the Tommy song goes off instantly, I want to chair dance for some reason. It's just, I don't know. I like that one for Tom Webster, guys. Tom Webster. So to prepare the scene, if his victims were selected before and knew they were on their way and were dropped off at the Myers, and hold on, it finishes up here at the Myers entrance, that the place he parked. All right, okay. All right. Alexa, thank you for coming to the show. No, not about you anymore. No.
I will go.
And thank you guys. I'll have it come back to those in just a sec. And it's the closest parking and it would get to the trails the fastest. Do I need to reread that or do you got it? Do. Yep. We're just, yeah. the lives about Christmas time and partying now. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Support with Steffa. You know we love you, tree hugger. Our arborist is in the house. Oh, Alexa, that was you stinker. Alexa, I thought for sure when I heard that it was Charmaine. Okay. So Sees Through got a membership. Gail Hurd got a membership. Nice.
Oh, she did? Oh, good.
Yeah, Resident R2R got a membership. Ivy Rose got a membership. And there should be one more. Oh, and Drunk Turkey Show. Oh, you lucky dog. Yeah, that's great. So I thought it was Charmaine, right? Because Charmaine's been doing that and she's been way overboard. I'll play that one out. But thank you, Alexa, for doing that. So congratulations. Oh, my goodness. And then look what we have. Who's this? Who's this? I'll see your $5 shameless plug. I mean, Jeff.
That's nice. So hot.
Oh, that's hilarious. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I never. You don't? You don't?
Oh.
I know sometimes it's too bad you wish that you could choose for, sometimes for your, a person like say Sharon Parker and whatever. Charmaine isn't at her computer right now. So can't give. Charmaine, are you at your parents? Like, did you tell them how much we love them more than their? That's such a.
No, I did it from my phone. I didn't know you can do it from your phone.
Look at that. Super chat. $9.99. Thank you. I see your $5. Shameless plug. I mean donation. Jeff and I raised you $5. That Aspen guy is so hot.
Cracks me up, you guys. We got apologies. We got love. We got freaking what else we got? Oh, of course.
That's the first time I've heard that in a long time. So I'll take it, even if I paid for it.
I was gonna say nobody's told Aspen that in a long time, to be honest, how hot he is. Anyways, so congratulations and thank you, Alexa, again for that from the memberships. But Charmaine, okay, did you tell your parents though how much we love them more? And that's why we keep saying it during this live so that they can clearly hear. If you could just adopt me and Adam, I don't want much for Christmas, okay? just a house and a car and a boat, perhaps, and an island. I don't care. Yeah, not Hot Wheels.
Tommy, can you hear me? Can I help to cheer you? Ooh, Tommy.
Aw, Mustang, thank you so much.
$5. Thank you.
I feel like this should have been a drinking game today. Every time one went off, we should have been plowing one back.
And I apologize for anyone that this annoys. So, but
I'm not going to apologize for that because for
thank
the
you so much, everyone.
Yeah, because these people are good friends. Good
If
people
someone wants to buy Sharon Parker a membership,
Yeah, too bad that we
Merry
cannot
Christmas.
get her. Can we buy a membership?
Not for someone.
you can't pick who it goes to.
But don't you have to do something to get the membership?
You just have to turn your thing on. But I don't even think you have to do that anymore. Before you used to have to turn it on, but you don't have to do that anymore. It's just when somebody gifts, whoever randomly gets it.
Sure, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you.
I'll tell you what. If there's
Sharon,
somebody,
it'll happen before Christmas.
well,
Someone will buy you a membership before Christmas.
So unless someone buys like probably 50 memberships, chances are Sharon. No, yeah, Shermie. 500 memberships, I meant Shermie. But no, then possibly Sharon has contention on that one. But just know that 5 people that were probably in here aren't getting them again because you can only
That's
get it
awesome. Thank you so much.
Just pretend that your name is green.
And Ben, I did donate to my own channel. Yes, I did.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okay, it's not like Deb didn't do that before as well, or Adam hasn't done that before. Remember Adam one time he was going on about this gift. You don't want me to talk about that one where he thought he donated to our channel?
At least let me tell it.
Okay, go ahead and tell it.
So I one time was like, why isn't it popping up in chat? Oh, here. But I'll say, and I realized that I donated in someone else's live chat $20, and it wasn't this channel.
Nope, he fucked up.
But hey,
he
I was still happy to help that channel.
He was like, "Don't you guys see my super?" No, me and Deb are like, "No."
Like, damn it.
Let's see. Mustang just gifted 5 memberships, and again, thank you guys because I know that for me, like, like. Okay, let's see who got these ones. Good fight. Sorry, Sharon Parker, but blissfulness says Sensen got one. Little Gambler did. Jones, Solar Chef Steph. Did Steph change her name? She is Solar Chef now? No, just kidding. And then Britt Lawrence and got a membership on there. Okay.
Thank you, Mustang.
Thank you, Mustang. Sorry, Sharon. Sorry.
I don't even remember. What were we asking Alexza at this point?
It was well, we were talking about the drunk turkey show comment. I tried saying it like 5 times, but it's hard. The things were going off. And Lexa, did you understand the comment? Because it was in. Sharon, it didn't even dawn on me. She was already a member.
Oh.
Yeah, but still, can still gift her. She can still win a gifted membership, right? A month, gifted membership. Yeah, but okay. Wait, where did Alexza say? Be right back.
Sure. Okay, so Jonathan says, how do we know that BH was friends with RL? Oh, you took it off.
Oh, sorry.
How do we know that?
Okay, go to it. Okay, got it. Okay, there.
How do we know that Brad Holder was friends with Ronald Logan and went to his house for the ritual? We don't. We don't know that Brad Holder ever went to Ron Logan's house for any ritual. So if you've heard that somewhere, ask them for proof.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sadly, so many rumors end up going on with this case. But if someone has proof that Ron Logan held any ritual at all, first of all, and then second of all, that Brad Holder attended anything at Ron Logan's house, I would love to see proof. So anyone that's heard that, I wouldn't believe it unless I saw the evidence for myself. Just like I wouldn't anything, but. Oh, we lost Sunny. Drunk Turkey Show says, I sent you a voice thing on Messenger. It's not easy to explain with the character count.
Yeah.
You didn't send it to me. You sent it to Sunny, I guess.
One second. So sorry. I was literally trying to send this to Alexza, and I don't know why Messenger is so stupid so that Alexza can hear it herself. And because I don't know that you guys will be able to hear it, but I don't know why it does that with you, Alexza, on Messenger sometimes.
Really? Can you email it?
Well, let me try it again because it's just so stupid that it doesn't bring up your name when I sit there and try to send you that. It's so stupid. But let me just see here. Well, no, it's on a voice clip. But just give me tell me if you can hear this. Okay, let me just.
And Jonathan, anytime. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, I'm going to play this and tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Sunny, the answer is no.
No, I mean, I only have one ear. Don't forget.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
Okay. Really? You can hear that? Okay. Well, talk amongst yourselves for a second. And I'll try to send that to you. We'll come back to that. So just answer whatever other ones for a minute.
Ann Vroom says, question for Alexza. What would your 2-minute profile of perp in this case be? Just in general, not specific to RA.
Oh, this one I remember vividly because
So wait, nobody's talking all of a sudden?
We did
You
one.
guys talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Sonny, you can't hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Alexza.
Okay.
That was sorry.
I remember this because we did it like 2 months before RA got arrested. So I always said I would think he would be married. I said he would be, married. I believed he was between 40 and 50. I believe he probably had kids. He probably had a job. He wasn't like, usually they're recluse and they don't, they're like loners. But with him, and he lived in Delphi. I said, he was probably, somebody within the community because he knew that place too well. So that would have been my. And also, I said the only thing I don't think that I was completely wrong because I said he was probably a hunter. I said he probably was some type of a hunter. I knew outdoorsy type, but especially a hunter. And I think there's no indication. I think that's where I was completely wrong. Is that I don't think there's any indication that he was ever a hunter. Right. And I'm just saying that.
But we don't know that he wasn't.
Yeah, well, I guess. The way he did that, usually, hunters like Rex Heuermann are the type, that they have that whole game, like almost when they go and they hunt, like the prey, they literally hunt their prey kind of thing. So that would have been mine. And I remember we did it.
I would say if Rich John is guilty, and we don't know that he is, but allegedly if Rich John is guilty, I think it would be safe to say we could call him a hunter.
Yeah. And another thing that I said is I always believe he had to had some red flags, meaning that he had some type of um violence. I believe he had to have some either violence in the like short circuit. He was the type of person that he had to show violence. I don't believe that he was as sweet or as nice as people had portrayed him to be. I don't think so.
Right.
Although I did hear, I think it was Renee that told me the other day that actually there was somebody that worked with him that actually said that he was kind of like a little bit of a perv
At Walmart, yeah,
at Walmart. Yeah, I did
yeah.
not know that story.
They gave him the creeps. I have
Yeah.
those messages.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. He would be the type that red flags. You would see red flags on him.
Yeah.
Alexa, I sent you a Drunk Turkey Show's message. Mind
And
you,
you
I
know,
probably
and you know, and remember, there was also, there also was a police call that they responded to Richard Allen's house. I can't remember the date, but you know, there was a disturbance, which I was told it was a drunken domestic disturbance, whatever that means. But we don't know everything about Richard Allen, and if he is guilty, then I think his story is going to be really, really fascinating because there's so much we don't know. But I think it's also intentional, because remember, the defense can lay out whatever they want prior to a trial, but the prosecution is much, much more limited as far as what information they can release, especially when there's a protective order and a gag order in the case. And I think we've seen a lot of information come out from the ex-defense team of Richard Allen, that tried to paint a narrative in a particular direction, but we've really seen very little response by the prosecution. And I think that's incredibly smart on the prosecution's part, because they don't have the liberty of responding to everything, and two, they don't have to. They can hold back, from the public whatever information they want. We don't know what was all turned over to the ex-defense team, because let's all be honest, that ex-defense team was not going to release publicly damning evidence against their client.
Oh, sorry.
But that doesn't mean there isn't damning evidence. So it's just important to keep in mind, don't believe everything related to what's out there publicly at that time, because that's not the whole story. And it would be really simple brain to think it was. So I don't mean that offensively.
Well, I was going to say, because hold on a second, I'm just going to show you something for a second here, and then I want to play that clip, and then people can go take a pee, get a drink, whatever, of the prosecutor's podcast. And let me just show you this. That
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
What'd Jeff say?
Well, I'd referenced the 911 call to Alan's house, and it was a 2015 domestic call.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I got to Googling.
Yeah. So sorry, right here. As we can see, is that zooming in? Can you see? Wait, what are you showing me on this one? This is okay. That's to the girls. Oh, I thought you were sorry. I thought this was to his house. That's what I thought you were. Okay, I'll come back to that then. I'll come back to that. What I'm going to do right now, you guys, and again, if you need to go up, get a drink, take a pee, whatever, I'm going to play the prosecutor's podcast. And that is, I think it's just a little. How long is it actually? We're at probably about 14 minutes. Okay. And I would have liked to have put in more, to be honest with you, but you know, you don't want to abuse the kindness of another channel. But there was a couple of things I did want to put in there. Anyway, so I'm going to play that right now. Then I'll go look at my messages and the background as well. And we'll be back in about 14 minutes. So let me just hit stop screen, play video. Okay. And so thank you again to Brett and Alice. Just two wonderful people. I really love their show. I like their, like, kind of like what me and Adam have, you know, as host and co-host of the show. It's like, you know, we have that, I don't know, that nice camaraderie or whatever you want to say, where we can joke around. And that's what I love about Brett and Alice as well, is that they're talking about stuff serious, but they're also, you know, cracking jokes and that. Anyways, just a really nice channel, if you guys don't know who it is. Okay, so I'll play.
Have given you a lot of rope, and you've just continued to hang yourself. And the first thing you did,
and go over later,
them removed. But what she's doing is sort of the long train of abuses part of this, and that's the first leak of confidential information. The judge goes on. May of this year, we were notified by the SIN. This was Baldwin's first leak of information. Wasn't shared with you, although apparently you guys knew about what was going on. And Baldwin says, prosecution, be like, hey, we had this breach. We've taken steps to avoid it. Tell us that this had happened. The next thing, so the judge isn't done. It just keeps going. Prisoner of war filing about how he needs to be moved to a jail because in the prison, a Richard Allen being held prisoner, in a prisoner of war type situation, stuff, when in fact the photographs they were using of him were in his workout shirt. So they were like his workout clothes. And they made it seem like that's what he's wearing all the time. And he's just, it's this terrible, something that all attorneys, prosecutors, defense attorneys are bound to do, because the system can't work if we're like Richard Allen moved closer to him. That's what he was willing to do. And that is.
Hold on 1 second here. How long is this? 1 second. I think I might have, because that seems like it was screwed up to me as I was playing it. Hold on a second here. Oh, I think it was playing the highlight. 1 sec, guys. So sorry. Present video file. Okay.
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
What the defense has said and what they said in their mandamus, they continuously act like this is just about the leak, and even if the leak was wrong, this was so sudden and everything else. And the judge in the hearing is like, look, you've been doing things for a long time that have been problematic, and I've kind of let them slide. You know, I have given you a lot of rope, and you've just continued to hang yourself. And the first thing you did is you sat here and you told me we're not going to try this in public. And then 2 weeks later, you're releasing this. And we all remember this press release, which did lead to the gag order.
Okay, so this is the press release that they were referring to back in 2022. I believe it was in November, the 3-page press release from Baldwin and Rosie. So that we can go over later in this live as well.
And that's not something that's going to get them removed. But what she's doing is sort of the long train of abuses part of this. And that's what she starts with is, hey, this has been going on for a year, that you've been doing things that are problematic.
So the court notes that the defense has attempted to, there are a lot of things. And we now know this actually from the defense's own filings, that it's not just one thing that they did that led the judge to remove them. So we've talked about this misleading the court, the playing into the media, potential violations of their rules of professional responsibility, which every attorney is bound by. The court then notes that the defense has attempted to also represent Richard Allen in a civil suit at the same time that they're appointed counsel in a criminal matter. Quoting from.
So there's that. Then they talk about something we've talked about before, which is this is not the first leak of confidential information. The judge goes on. May of this year, we were notified by the state of the Brandon Woodhouse arrest and the subsequent discovery of your work product. And I think it was an outline that you created for yourselves with the discovery. It was pretty detailed. I don't know if that's the right word. That apparently happened in December of last year, and that was not revealed to anybody. Not shared with the court. It wasn't shared with you, talking about McClellan, I think. Or no, talking about Rosie. This is another. I said Rosie did this in an earlier episode. This is actually Baldwin did this again. This was Baldwin's first leak of information. Wasn't shared with you, although apparently you guys knew about what was going on. And Baldwin says he didn't know. And the court says you knew. And he says, I didn't know. So then Mr. Woodhouse gets arrested, and here we are, grossly negligent to email that to the wrong Brad. So basically, Baldwin is trying to send Brad Rosie a bunch of information about their case, the kind of thing you don't typically share with third parties, and he accidentally sends it to another client of his who'd been arrested for something else. So this is sort of the first leak of information. And rather than doing what they should have done, which is immediately go to the court and the prosecution and be like, hey, we had this breach, we've taken steps to avoid it happening in the future, we've, gotten the information back, whatever you need to do. I mean, that would be the appropriate thing. They just don't mention it to anybody. And it doesn't come out until later when I think that information gets in the hands of some other people and ends up on the internet. I forget exactly how it all came out. But nevertheless, the judge is pointing out, when you had the first leak, you didn't come and tell us that this had happened. The next thing, so the judge isn't done. It just keeps going. And this one, I'm so glad the judge talked about this, because when it happened initially, this is when, if you guys go back and listen to our legal briefs, when these people were first appointed, we did an episode on it. And we said, these guys look like they'll be good. They got a lot of experience. I think they'll be able to handle it. This should be a good defense team. I think this is going to make sure he gets the best defense possible, also moving the case forward. We've never been more wrong than we were in that episode. But we talked about that. The time when things started going sideways for me was when they filed the prisoner of war filing about how he needs to be moved to a jail because in the prison he's being treated worse than a prisoner of war. And the judge brings up that the pleading about the conditions was, to put it mildly, misleading. And here's what she says: your pleadings on the safekeeping order contain inaccuracies and falsehoods. That was proven in the hearing we conducted in June. The evidence presented by the state clearly demonstrated the falsity of your claims, and that was very troubling to me. Now recall, the arguments made by the defense in the detention motion to move him weren't just vigorous representation or even arguable interpretations of the facts. They were out and out lies. They were supported by fake photographs presented as representing a Richard Allen being held prisoner in a prisoner of war type situation, conditions where, he's not eating, he's barely being fed, and he's dirty and he can't bathe and all this other stuff. When in fact, the photographs they were using of him were in his workout shirt. So they were like his workout clothes. And they made it seem like that's what he's wearing all the time. And it's just terrible conditions. And that is something, when you put that in a filing, I mean, that's a huge issue to mislead the court. Candor with the court is something that all attorneys, prosecutors, defense attorneys are bound to do, because the system can't work if we're lying to the court. It can't work. And I think one thing that's really important to note, those improprieties, and really several of the ones we've talked about, involve both of them. So Brad Rosie can talk all he wants to about, I didn't know anything about the leak. He was involved in all of this. He was involved in that filing. He was willing to mislead the court to get Richard Allen moved closer to him. That's what he was willing to do. And that has had a detrimental effect, frankly, not only on the case, but on public perception of this. You see people to this day talk about how unfair and terrible and horrible it is. Woe is me, an innocent man in prison, as if any of that has anything to do with the reality of the situation, which is he is, as the judge points out, in fact, being treated better and in a better situation in this place, in a safer situation than he would be in the county jail. So whatever you think about Baldwin and the leak, it's not just him. He is not the only one who's involved in these improprieties.
And that's why the judge starts with kind of all these things that are building up. She's essentially saying, look, I've given you a lot of grace over and over. Each of these individual things have given me a lot of concern because you have done things that violate your professional rules of, responsibility and ethics here. Now, kind of in totality, this is all topped off. We finally get to why kind of we were going to have this hearing. And that's the leak. And she goes on to say, and I'm going to read directly from the transcript here because there's some back and forth that's very telling. The state provided you discovery. That has been severely compromised. We now have an ongoing investigation. I'm not going to call it a criminal investigation. I don't know what it is, but it's clearly being investigated by the state of Indiana. Everyone involved has sought counsel, including you, Mr. Baldwin. You've had an attorney enter a written appearance this morning. I don't want to get into the investigation candidly. You are the constitutional authority for the state of Indiana. If you choose to pursue it, that is up to you.
And then Baldwin says, I'm not good at reading between the lines, which you must be really bad at it because there's not much reading between the lines required. And then the judge says the funniest thing that's said in the entire proceeding. You're a lawyer. That's what you do for a living. And then Baldwin says, when you say have a private conversation, are you talking the four of us or the court? I'm talking about you. I'm not accusing the state of gross incompetence and negligence. I'm finding gross incompetence and negligence with you. So at this point, the judge has basically said, if you want to have this hearing, this is where I'm landing. This is up to you. Do you want to have the hearing or not? You need to talk to your client. You need to talk to Brad. Y'all need to figure this out.
And best friend that everyone should have, Rosie, tries one more time to gently throw Baldwin under the bus. He does not come off great in this transcript. So then Rosie says, I mean, obviously, reading the tea leaves here, what you're giving us a chance to do is bow out gracefully, if you will, if that's the right term. Is there a scenario where the court would accept if I stayed in the case? I mean, I'm a team player, and I'm not the kind of guy that just bail out on somebody just for the sake of doing it. But I think it's obvious that, he can speak differently, but I'm not as connected to some of, this most recent circumstance as he is. Man, I can't see Baldwin's face in this situation.
What
but
a
if I were
team.
Baldwin, I would be like, what the heck? Because if you heard what Judge Gold said, clearly the finding of gross incompetence and negligence was against both of them. But here Rosie's like, look, this last leak, still nothing to do with me. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but seriously, it's all about him. So what if I just stayed on? And this is important because it seemed like a lot of people, after the meeting was like, well, what about Rosie? He didn't do anything wrong. And he actually addresses this and he tries to stay on in this hearing, which is why when he files something later where he's like, I had nothing to do with this, I was completely, ambushed, is not right because he already had this discussion with the judge in chamber.
They go and speak to him. They come back and they basically say, look, this is all on very short notice, but Richard Allen wants us to stay his attorneys. And they're candid about the limits of Allen's ability to keep them on the case under the constraints of the law, which is something we have been talking about for weeks. But they say he wants us to continue with his representation. He understands, I think, that he's not the gatekeeper, or he doesn't have the authority to really force the court to do that. He would like to say that on the record. We have been telling you this for a couple weeks, that as appointed counsel, because he's indigent, he doesn't actually have the ability to keep them on the case. Rosie and Baldwin understood that at that moment. They obviously are now arguing something different because they want to change the law. They want to have a new law in Indiana that would allow them to stay. But that is the rule. And whatever you want the law to be, that's what it is. And they understood that at the time. And they had advised their client correctly in the moment that not really up to him given the circumstances. And let me just say, the fact that all this is ongoing is just yet more reason why Richard Allen would be better off if this circus moved on to the next town and he went on and had his trial. But we'll talk about that more in a second.
She discusses the motions that have been filed and how she's going to rule, and the fact she's still working through the Franks motion because of its length. She notes that it's lots of exhibits, thousands of pages. Rosie takes a moment to blame the clerk or the judge, not really clear, for not filtering out the Franks motion from publicly view, as he was under the impression that nothing would be publicly filed until someone reviewed it. So there's kind of some discussion about, it's not my fault it was publicly filed, which that was their whole point.
Which, by the way, yeah, there's no way. The idea, this is another instance, in my opinion, of Rosie just lying to the judge. There's no way they wrote that motion the way they wrote it, intending it never to be seen or not to be seen by the public until some far later date. No way.
And as lawyers who file things all the time, Brett, who makes the designation and clicks the under seal when you click the button to file?
Or stamp
the
it on
attorney.
He knows the judge is concerned about this, but he says, I don't care. I don't care about this leak at all. And that's not my interpretation. These are his words. And if the point here is, I'm going to say this maybe a little loosely, but forgive me. Once again, the whole not to insult you, don't take offense to this. I don't care. I don't care that all this stuff is out there because it's been out there for 5 or 6 years, which is factually incorrect, number one. But number two, just an amazing thing to say when you are fighting to stay in a case because of a leak that the judge is deeply concerned about. To say, I don't care is mind-blowing.
I'm covering my eyes right now because even though I read that before, I think I wiped it from my memory because I could not fathom someone saying that they did not care about the reason Baldwin hired an attorney, never happens, to defend himself in this terrible leak, not to even take the human side of what happened. You should care that the victim's crime scene photos are splashed out for the world to see, and that any shred of dignity or peace that the family might have is eviscerated because of this. And to have this sleight of hand and to recognize that you're about to say something unforgivable, which is why you start with forgive me. When you start with forgive me, it's probably unforgivable. To then say, I don't care. You could say so many things other than I don't care. You could say, this is a big deal, but not in the legal sense. It's a big deal for the victims, and I don't want to make slight of what has happened. But ultimately, there's no legal claim here, and there is no process that has been put in place that would allow for what the judge wants to do here. Because clearly, the judge cares. Clearly, there is an ongoing investigation into this. If it didn't matter, there would not be an investigation. There was a reason that this was a hearing where people lined up for, before the crack of dawn to come into, because a lot of people care, including the judge. And you know what? While you personally may not care about something, your job as an officer of the court is to care about the things the judge cares about. The judge has told you she cares, you better care. I don't care if you don't really care. Your job is to care about the things the judge cares for. And that's why when you have a hearing or when you talk to a judge, the one piece of advice everyone gives anybody is listen to the judge's questions and answer the judge's questions, because the judge's questions point to what the judge cares about. And the judge is the person who makes decisions. And if you choose to not answer her questions or not care and to flippantly say you don't care, that is as much of a middle finger as you could possibly give to a judge.
And I think the only
So that's where it ended there. I mean, I love Alice, I'm not gonna lie. She has those things in there, but she's like, that's about as middle of a finger as you can give to a judge and whatever. I'm not going to get into the debate of different things, because I think that people should go listen to their full podcast on it. And again, I like to listen to the defense diaries. I like to use my brain, and I like to listen to the podcast, prosecutors podcast with Alice and Brett here. And again, thank them very much for allowing me to use some of their material in tonight's live. And of course, Travis Williamson, that has joined us here multiple times now with giving us all insight into some of that legal paperwork stuff and that. But so because we were talking about that, or Adam had brought that up about the evidence and stuff like that, again, that's why for me, it's like when you're listening to both sides and not just one, because the defense is going to be about the defense, and the prosecutors are going to tell it from the prosecutor side of things. I personally don't think that Judge Frankel is going anywhere. And I think that the attorneys, Librato and Scremin, will be staying. But that's what's playing out in court right now, regardless of what someone believes or whatever. So I forgot about the whole lying about the picture and stuff like that. There's more to it, obviously. And the other thing I wanted to say was that McClelland wanted to show that Baldwin was in fact in knowing of the leaks, but they never got to present that. So we do not know, because of course the withdrawals happened and stuff like that. So, and that's something again that I, like I said, you hear it because you forget some of the stuff that's being said along the way. But that was one of the things, is that McClelland was saying that he had proof that this was more than one time, and to show that Baldwin knew that this was happening, which in the podcast, again, just go listen to it if you have time, because you can't just listen to one side. It has to be both, and try to be unbiased and where that truth lies there. But at the end of the day, this will come down to the Supreme Court to decide, what's going on here. Anyways, and Adam, did you want to add to any of that before we go back to?
No, because it's up to the Supreme Court. So, I think everyone knows my opinion, your opinion, everyone else's opinion. So
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
I will say one thing that has bothered me, and I'm not going to harp on the whole thing, but just because some people want something to be true doesn't mean it's true. And I find there to be a contrast sometimes, and I think I saw this as well with the what was it called, like the ground tap or groundswell groundswell that took place on Monday. Was alleged to be in favor of everyone's right to due process and these things that sound incredible, but should Judge Gull not be given those same rights? I mean, in the same breath that these people were saying we want there to be due process and there to be fair representation for Richard Allen, they were saying Judge Gull has to go. Judge Gull has not been proven to have done anything wrong, and if the Supreme Court deems that she has, we will find that out. But as of that moment, we haven't. So how can you be arguing for the rights and due process of one person, but not affording them to another?
right.
I found that to be a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, most things are hypocritical. Like, really. For me, like, I'm just personally just waiting out what's exactly going to happen to this. I have definitely my own thoughts on all of this myself, but at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, I think that Brangel's going to stay. I don't think that they're going to find her to have broken any rules or regulations, and I think that the new lawyers, are going to be taking over the case. And if that turns out that way, so be it. If it doesn't, all I want to do is get to the point of trial and Abby
I
and
agree
Libby.
with you, Sonny.
Yeah, on there.
I just wish it wasn't a year from now. But
I know.
I think anyone that is afraid of it, anyone that's upset about that, we have, right as of this moment, admittedly, we have one party to blame for that. And that is Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rossi.
You know what? I was trying to find that part of the clip, but I didn't realize 2 hours would go by so fast when I was trying to get my clips, because when I listened to the whole thing, that was exactly what Alice said. Like, they're the ones that created all this.
Right.
They're the ones that have created this, from this leak to sending the things to the wrong ones, whatever. And I agree with that. And then I think Alice had said, and Brett, basically, like, at the end of the day, what was I sorry, you know what? It was there and it's gone. It's gone.
But I think what Heather says, that's I think that's a good analogy. She said, and I know it came out of Baldwin's office, but Rosie is co-counsel. It's like a marriage. You are married, so or therefore you are both going to jail for tax fraud. Hopefully no one has to experience that. But we don't have any evidentiary proof that Rosie was privy or involved in this. We know that Baldwin's office was, admittedly, by themselves, but Rosie's office has not admitted any guilt to it. So I'm not going to allege that Rosie knew anything, but because he was co-counsel with Andrew Baldwin, he,
Don't Adam, just to correct people on that.
Sonny wants to correct me.
Yeah. Well, no, just because clearly what they said, and I kind of forgot about that too, was that when they had their hearing in what month was
November?
it?
Was it November of 2022 or December?
I can't think of it. Also, I'm kind of torn between spring or summer or winter on this one, but when they had their hearing and they were talking about his clothes and how that's what she was talking about that Rosie and Baldwin clearly misrepresented
Right.
Richard Allen, and as if he was this prisoner of war, and that they falsely provided information that was untrue, which showed in the June hearing, I believe it was,
Okay.
that was untrue, and that basically it was lies, and that even the shirt he was wearing, which I forgot about, right? Because the warden had said, like, that's his workout material. That's not how he typically wears it. So
Of course, we all knew that.
they basically lied, is what Judge Gull was saying there. And plus that press conference, I mean, that, like, basically they weren't supposed to talk after that, like that. And then all of a sudden that press release comes out. So that's why that one was referenced, because they're saying, like, this is unfair, and then they start going off about stuff to do with the case.
And I agree. I agree that there have been allegations, and according to the court and by Nick McClellan, proof that Rosie had knowledge of things that led to the decision of gross negligence. My reference was just in relation to basically the leaked information and the crime scene stuff. Which I believe,
No, it wasn't. Oh, sorry, no, not you.
which I believe, from any of the facts that we know, I'm only going to attribute to Baldwin's office, and I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt there. But still, it doesn't mean that Rosie can continue in any good faith, because I've argued that for a long time, that if they were to be reinstated, even if it was just Rosie to be reinstated, you automatically set this case up for an immediate appeal.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Only because we're already at 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Alexza, did you listen to Drunk Turkey's comment?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I mean, it would make sense if that was what he thought that they were going to be, right? I mean, if he knew that they were going to be dropped off in that area, it makes sense parking in that area, right? But there is no way of corroborating that. I don't even know if one day we will even know.
I was going to say, like, with where you sit now, and Lex, I believe I'm going by the answer that you said, is that you believe that he knew that Abby and Libby were going to be there. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you that anymore, because I always thought so, but that's what the whole Kagan Klein thing was intertwined with it. I always felt like he knew, a snow day, but now I couldn't even tell you, honestly, if he was just waiting for someone to go over the bridge and whoever it was was unlucky. But, like, I don't even know where my thoughts are with this case anymore, to be honest with you. Besides,
Sonny, I'll let you know later.
What, yeah.
I mean, if that was the case, that he would have taken anybody, why didn't he take somebody else?
Well, because they didn't go over the bridge. Who knows? I don't know anymore, Alexza.
He could have went the other way. I mean, he could have just walked that way.
I know. I mean, it seemed
necessarily had to cross the bridge.
Yeah. Jeff and Aspen, do you guys believe that it was planned that way, like that he knew, like this was about Abby and Libby, and that, it was just a matter of, I don't know, because he'd have to know that they would go over the bridge and everything.
I'm curious, can they go any further to where they went on the bridge, or was there only way to go back the way they came? Or
well, they're on private land once they got to the end.
Yeah,
they were on the Weber land.
But so anybody watching them, would they know that, okay, well, they've basically have to come back now the other way? They're kind of trapped. They're in they're cornered.
I mean, if you wanted, if from everyone that I've spoken to that has been to the scene, the only conceivable place that you could conceal anything would be if someone was isolated on that side of the bridge. So, do we know that's what Richard, or that the perpetrator's motive was? No one knows. But I mean, he did pass other juveniles earlier on the trail. If you're believing it was Richard Allen, and Libby and Abby happened to be on the other side of the bridge. Is that why he chose them? We don't know. I hope that one day we find out.
Because if he chose anybody that was on the opposite side of the bridge, and there were multiples, they could just run off in different directions. I mean, he's got the two of them on the other side of the bridge. They've both got to run across the bridge to get away from him. It's too bad they didn't have the thought, and I don't know that I would either, but that, what's he going to do? Is he really going to fire the gun out there at that bridge? I mean, then he's got to get away. I mean,
I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't. That probably wouldn't come into my line of thinking if all of a sudden I'm just looking at nature and then someone's got a gun on me.
Yeah.
But you can't presume to know what someone's thinking in that moment.
Yeah, I think if somebody's got a gun on me, I just whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, us, we would think there's no way he's gonna fire the gun because that means that everybody's gonna see. But I mean, they were so young; they didn't think like that. They just, I mean, like anybody, you see a gun, you're like, okay, I'll do whatever you say.
Right.
I mean, I would even throw myself out of the bridge and instead of going with him, but that would have been probably me.
And Heather, I think that's a good perspective to take. If to listen to everything, and then make your own decision. And I mean, not even if you don't make your own decision, but to listen to every perspective, I think is absolutely a valid, logical decision to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, and like I said, even if I I have an opinion about this. But please don't think that, if someone just differs from my opinion, that I think in any certain way about them, because I don't. I don't presume to know anything that anyone else doesn't. I do have an opinion, though.
And I also believe that one of them probably could have run away, but it was the loyalty that they decided to stay together, because I'm sure one of them could have just, made the run for it and just escaped from him. But the loyalty that both had to stay within each other, it's admirable. It's really admirable.
Sonny, would you stay with me?
Right?
Would you stay with me?
Would I stay with you?
Like if someone
No.
threatened us with it.
I don't think most people
wouldn't.
would have. Well, most people would have been like, "Nope, see ya."
Yeah. No.
You
Gone.
would not have loyalty to me, and you would run away.
I would. I'd run like absolutely.
Adam, I heard her say that she doesn't have to outrun the bad guys. She just has to outrun you.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna roll on you. Life
Good to
taking.
know. Good to know.
Good to know. Good to know who your friends are and your enemies.
Deb would stay with me.
No, she wouldn't. No, she's got her own dungeon downstairs to take care of. Oh, hey, Rick
We'd be running from Deb.
It's always those shy, quiet, innocent ones that usually have the biggest skeletons in their dungeons.
They're the ones with the basements.
Yeah. Excuse me, I want to see what Rick Astley has to say.
Yeah.
RA said his motives were being on the
Frank?
bridge and watching Fred. No. You talking about Little Frank? You talking about Rick Astley?
Oh, no, it's Rick Astley. Okay.
Yeah, it's different. Sorry, we got rid of your music, Rick. Let's see. Watching fish. Ari's alibi was being at the aquarium store. Such a weird coincidence. I'll have to agree on that. I'm amazed that we don't make fun of the fish thing a little bit more than it is and stuff. But if it is kind of ironic, right? You got one guy looking at fish, the other one talking about going to buy fish. I mean, really. Yeah. This case honestly hurts my brain, but for me, it's kind of like at the end of the day, if this person, if you believe even instantly or just remotely looks like Richard Allen to you, based upon his size, based upon his face shape, based upon the look or whatever. And then you get a bullet and you have someone that's admitting to being there with the hat, with the pants, with the jacket. You know, I mean, he was just offering up. And it might sound ridiculous that somebody's like, hey, I was there. But again, you can look at it two ways. Either they're trying to like eliminate themselves, like, yeah, like he probably had no clue. I'm sure he shit his pants when that video came out. And I'm sure he laughed like hell when the young guy sketch came out. I think he thought he was freaking home free if he's guilty, of course. He's never going to
Can you read the comment that's on the screen?
Which one?
The one that's on the screen.
Oh,
I'm having a little trouble focusing on it.
Sorry. Let me just, can I stroke your egos for this? Adam,
You just have to read the words.
Okay, no problem. Adam, I figured it was you that they wanted anyway, as the more attractive by far. Let me read that again. Adam, I'd figured it was you they wanted anyway, as the more attractive by far. I think that there's some wordage missing properly there, but I think you get the point.
I think
so.
I mean, the most important two words in that whole comment, which thank you very much, Anne. I think if it's just at the end there, by far, that's where I would put the emphasis.
By far, okay. I mean, I personally would have picked out the attractive and Adam as my two words, but all right.
I focus on the LOL at the end that could send it in any direction.
Right.
Okay. Just to bring me back down to earth. There we go. Is that Aspen's microphone in the Christmas thumbnail, or did he get a shake weight from his Santa list? Sorry.
I was going to have those smart asses, and there's one of them. And first of all, Rick Astley, he's never going to desert me. No. You're right. Is there anything about Alexza? What about Alexza or Jeff? Anyone have any niceties for them? I feel like they're not really getting the niceties like you are, Adam. I feel like you're kind of hogging all those compliments. Anybody at all?
I think Jeff is very handsome.
Who said that? Hey, thank you.
We don't need the reassurance. We know, right? We know what we are.
Yeah, we got it. We got it going on.
I complimented Alexza earlier.
I feel like that was Alexza throwing her voice, and that was her inner voice talking there. Let's see if I can do it. Alexza, you're so beautiful.
Someone told me earlier when they watched the prosecutor's podcast video that they'd like to be in chambers with Alice.
Oh, next show in 1 hour, people. No,
I thought her name was Slice.
Yeah, Slice. I know he put Slice.
I know. Thanks for pointing out my typo.
It took me about 5 seconds to go. I think you meant Alice. Slice, because I was like Slice, and I was thinking of sled. Like
that's
from
what she goes by in her biker gang. I'm Slice.
Okay, you guys, we're just gonna go like 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. That wasn't. I know it wasn't creepy at all. We're gonna go 10 more minutes. So if you guys have any more questions for Alexza, Jeff, not so
me.
much.
Not so much. Ask me how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop. That's about all I'm good for.
Oh my goodness, I love Tootsie Rolls, by the way. Yeah. So you guys have a few more questions or whatever. It's been quite the conversation with chat and with you guys, and thank you again for all your guys' super chats and memberships, Alexza, and I'll thank you guys properly at the end when the show ends. But thank you guys for that. And Miss Alexza brings how do you say that word, Alexza? The gravatas to the crowd, and lots of bling. Lots of bling. Of course, Alexza likes her bling. Alexza likes pink and bling. Bling, bling, bling. Remember what you did with that Abby and Libby notebook that you got?
Oh my God. One of my favorites. I actually have it here.
Yeah, and then you bling it all up.
All the time.
Yeah.
Alexza, while we're waiting for someone in chat to ask a question, this is not related to Delphi, but it could, even though there's the gag order. What are your thoughts about Rex Heuermann's wife having
a deal,
potentially $1 million documentary film crew following her around?
I mean that. I mean, in my opinion, that's horrible. I mean, I understand doing a documentary, but why doing it?
Kathy.
Doing it before. I mean, no,
Right.
no. I mean, I think they should have waited. And if they want to say, okay, did they approach the victims' families too to tell
Right.
the person, that they paid $1 million for the victim's family too? I mean, what is it that she has to say? I mean, some people even say that she was involved and she knew more. We don't know how much she knows.
Right.
So I don't agree with that. I think that's
But will you want to watch the second it comes out?
mm, not really. I mean, what is she
Good.
gonna say? What can she say at this point? And I mean, I missed it because I couldn't go to court that day. But I heard that she was like all lovey dovey with him. Like he turned around and like she was like waving at him.
Right.
Is that the reason that she divorced him so fast? So the assets, nobody could sue her because
Right.
she knew this was coming.
Right.
And I heard
Ivy
from
wrote.
somebody that they actually had offered her $500,000, but she actually was the one that pumped it up to $1 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from a very good source that they were
Huh.
just going to pay half, and she's the one who said, "You know what? I'll do
Yeah,
it.
I'll do it for this.
Do it for this." Mm-hmm.
Ivy Rose says, "Do documentaries typically pay people?" And
Some
I
do.
can quickly say, if they want to interview if they want to interview you badly enough, they'll pay you. Like like Asa, that's someone that's going to bring in viewers to a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see someone like that being paid.
Yeah.
To
Usually
my
they-
knowledge, the people that are like on like the CW Delphi documentary, which is one episode of a show, to my knowledge, those people were not paid.
Even the murder,
Right.
like the Alex murder, like all of those people, they weren't paid either.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you're a professional and and someone wants you on a documentary, yeah, they'll pay you. If you want to be on a documentary and someone asks you, they're not going to pay you if they don't have to.
It's because everybody knows how much she's worth right now. Because basically
Right.
everybody wants to, know the story. Are those stories true? So I mean, I am really disgusted by that. I think they should have waited.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have no problem even if they paid her at the end. But right now, I do have a big problem with that.
Right. Alexza, I'm back on Delphi for a second. I got a question for you, or from Diana. She says, for Alexza, for how long do you perhaps think Richard was planning this before the
I think this was probably years in the making. This wasn't something that you wake up one day and say, I'm just going to do this. I would say this probably hunted him for a couple of years.
Just to perform the actual.
Yeah. He probably, I mean, I think it's like an evolution. I think maybe he started with like looking at inappropriate things. Maybe let's say child pee. And then he started deviating there, and then he started more and more, and it gets in like an addiction. But I think this wasn't definitely this. I don't think this was a year. I think this was a few years in the making.
Yeah. I mean, why don't they do a documentary on all the victims of Rex here?
Exactly. That's what I said. I want to know the victims. Pay the victims.
Yeah.
Don't pay, the wife.
Yeah. But it's always about the dirt. It's no different than channels, right?
And
it's
that's what one of the things that it's sad about most of the serial killers that we know them. Obviously, everybody knows, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, all of them. But do we really I don't even can name all the victims. I mean, I know a lot of people that can name the victims.
Yeah.
But most of us can't name their victims. It's just and that's why sometimes we shouldn't give them that much attention.
Yeah.
Like I remember when they started giving Jeffrey Dahmer so much attention. Like, why are we giving him attention? Because then we're creating that illusion of like superstars.
Look
and
at
then you get like a Brian Kohlberger saying, "Hey, I want to be in one. I want to become like them."
Yeah.
So
Chris Watts too. That pissed me off. It was almost like he was some freaking ass superhero all of a sudden, and
yeah.
like, acting all cocky with his arms crossed, like.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
I think I heard somebody said that he's gonna write a book. That he
Yeah.
was working with somebody and he's gonna write a
Of
book. Like,
course.
seriously? No.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to hear.
This is where society is wrong. Okay. This is why society is so wrong to me, is because instead of, like I said, doing more documentaries on the family and the impacts and everything that's happened to them, it's always goes to the evil person, and hence why we remember the names of Jeffrey Dahmer or the BTK and stuff like that. And usually for people to spill out the names of the victims and stuff like that. And it's just, to me, that's just kind of like, I don't want to call it programming, but when you grow up in a society for all these years that sensationalizes, the evil in a sense of the thing, then that's why people on the internet too, they go for drama and dirt and juice in a sense, and they don't give a crap, type of thing, because they just want to hear the blood, guts, gore of stuff, or the conspiracy side, and so that's to me just kind of where, but money talks in this world, and money makes the world go round with that stuff. And it's sad, but
Yeah.
it's true.
And
It's
then
true.
all the people that get attracted, like the hybrostophilia, that people get attracted to those type of, men, and they start writing and falling in love with these people. It's
And Ivy says, what do you think about the possibility RA had those tendencies naturally, then found an online community of sickos, which made his urges worse and eventually amped him up to commit them? Of course,
it's like music to their ears, right? I mean, there you have the, he had to had some type of tendencies all the time, that there was something. And I guess, maybe, I mean, this is all assumption, and allegedly this is the way I am thinking, that he probably had some type of children fantasies, maybe.
he
And
had
that
that.
was, and maybe, yes, you're right, maybe when he started seeing the community, and they become addicted and obsessive. Do we know the ladies that he worked? That there was some women that came forward and said that he was like a weirdo, and
Yeah.
they were from I think from Walmart, right?
No, CVS.
Oh, CVS. I thought they were from Walmart. Do we know what they look like?
Maybe Alexza when he was in Mexico or something like that.
But do we know what they look like, the ladies, or nobody? Or they never came forward physically? I'm just curious to see if they.
I can't remember if so. It was like maybe one person did, but I don't remember. Like
I know one of them had said that she was she
Most
had
of
a
them did.
girlfriend, and like he was always like kind of like playing on that.
I can't see that let's say, so if Richard Allen did this, I can not see him having some sort of social media type of presence somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
I had a fake one. Like a
yeah,
real
right. There's no way. I mean, he had freaking 5 years to delete his shit. Back in 2017. But and which he might have, because he's probably fucking scared shitless. But the thing is, we can't find anything. I don't believe that there's not going to be nothing on his cell phone versus some. To me, there's got to be. No one just goes there, has no social community. Like there had to be something, I'm sure, in that whole social media thing, because I can't just go
I
ahead.
don't think he had one. I think he didn't have a personal one because he knew that he didn't want to be found. And I think he didn't have, when you know that you have done something bad and you don't want to be
Yeah.
found, kind of thing. And I think that's why he never had one. I am pretty sure there has to be a few accounts that he made fake.
Right.
He has to
I
have some
know.
fake accounts.
You guys think so, Jeff and Adam? Do you guys think so?
Yeah, I would think he probably, if he's already going after something that's, kind of a despicable idea in society, he's already set it up as very secretive just from the start, even if it didn't start out as like to unalive somebody, just that it was kind of a sick, unaccepted fetish that he had. And one thing I think about is that, of the few videos we have of him, he doesn't talk a lot. And I wonder if that's indicative of somebody who lives more inside their head than
I think so.
actually out in the open with their words and their conversation.
And I think that some people that have something to hide, that I think that it's not uncommon that they delete or don't have social media.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
I mean, I mean, on a very surface level, I've always joked with my friends that if they meet someone, if they're single, if the person that they meet doesn't have Instagram or Facebook, they need to be worried.
Right.
Because it means they're hiding something.
Yeah.
What's that old expression? Those with nothing to hide nothing.
Right. That's how I feel. Right.
And also, he always seemed very. I mean, this is the way I always read him. He always seemed very uncomfortable when he was being filmed. Like always, like annoyed when the wife would come.
Yeah, when she would come.
Usually, people that don't like to be filmed, okay, but eventually, you throw whatever. Some people don't like to be filmed because they don't feel comfortable the way they look, whatever. But with him, it was that annoyance that you can see. There's one video in particular, the one that he's inside the car and he looks back at the wife.
Yeah.
And I got those eyes. Like, oh, wow. Yeah. Chills. I get chills from those eyes.
Yeah, he had a look on his face like he was ready to like face the consequences of everything. And it's like, oh, okay, just you.
And Ivy, I want to say, Ivy, I don't think Rich Allen is old enough to say he would not have social media just because of his age.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Adam.
He was only 44 at the time of the crime.
Yeah.
I still say 45.
I think he didn't have because he didn't want to be found. Like we said, something to hide. You want to be an enigma.
Yeah.
I don't want to have anything out there on you.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody could see him and they can just verify it with the Facebook.
The thing that sucks in all of this is that we're talking 5.5 years later, they arrest Richard Allen. 5.5 years later. Okay. No fool like Brad Holder is going to sit there and commit any crime and then leave all his shit up on Facebook for everyone to sit there and see and have anything to do with it. Like, that's just beyond stupid. Anyone would be scared and start even slowly taking this shit down. But with Richard Allen, like I said, I believe that there's definitely some social media, but I'm just so disappointed that it's 5.5 years later. All that stuff that they could have had,
and people allege that he had a Facebook until 2018.
Did they?
It's just the proof of it that we don't know.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna close this out with a Mustang. Do you guys think that the BG filmed the whole thing, knowing? Okay, just remembering they were looking for a couple things. Someone that had knives, a collection, and they were looking for a video. Someone that bought a video or whatever it was, a video recorder. Those are the two things near the start that they were looking for. So, Alexza, do you believe in the whole tripod thing? And do you believe that this was like a souvenir, a piece of something that he took? So he could have
possible, but I don't believe he sell it to the dark web. No,
I don't believe that.
I truly don't believe that because that video would have been out by now. I believe that. I don't know if he filmed the whole thing, but I do believe he probably has a couple pictures and maybe filmed a little bit. Yeah, okay. I believe so. Because I mean, that's the best way of reliving this.
Yeah.
This way, capturing on camera.
Yeah. Jeff, what do you think?
Oh, regarding filming the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine it's probably maybe did. If he did, I would think he would not hold on to it for very long. I think it would
Or
be
bury
it'd be like it'd be hard to sleep. You know, you'd wake up and like, wait, where did I leave it? Oh, I put it over there this time. Oh, geez, now it's over there. The stress of it maybe would be to the point where it's like, I got to burn this or bury it or
I don't know.
erase it. I don't know.
Because you'd have to be in the mind of someone like that. Because we all know that they like their little trophies and different things. Adam, what do you think?
Um,
Do you think it was filmed? That he filmed it for personal, like, so you don't believe it at all? Okay.
no, I mean, were there pictures taken? Was there some video evidence? I don't know. But do I think the whole thing was filmed? Absolutely not.
I don't know about the whole thing, but I'm going to believe that it was filmed, pictures taken, souvenirs taken.
Souvenirs. Yes, I believe souvenirs are taken.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know.
I don't believe it was video evidence.
Yeah.
And then a question for you: there was no SA involved with this, right?
In the traditional sense, is what I think was said.
So I mean,
Right.
there's no DNA that he would have left
No.
as a result of.
Well,
That we know. I mean, we don't know if he
Well,
measured himself there, and
there was DNA, he would be busted. Like, seriously, this wouldn't even probably be. We wouldn't be talking about that. There
I'm
was
sure there had to be DNA there. I think it was just
DNA there, but
Not
remember, like Adam said, Alexza, there was like, and others have said it as well, that this was a non-DNA case, but that was prior to him being arrested.
and I think also it's important to note, if someone is watching right now and they believe that, Richard Allen did not commit this crime because it's been said there's no DNA evidence to tie him to the scene. If you believe that may be true, but if you also then are of the belief that there were 4 to 5 Odinists that were in the woods that day committing a ritualistic killing of these 2 girls,
Right.
you don't believe that they left DNA? Because I mean, to believe that one person was able to successfully commit this crime and not leave DNA is
Right.
a feat in itself. But to imagine that 4 to 5 people could be at that scene and not leave one trace of DNA, I mean,
Wow.
to me, that's impractical.
Yeah.
Impractical.
Well, we know that there was DNA at the scene, and we also know that there was fibers. We know
I mean,
that there-
identifiable though. I mean,
Right.
no one is that specific and that careful.
Alexa, what were you going to say there?
no. I was just agreeing.
Okay. Hi, Daniel. Okay. Look at all the searchers, of course, tons of DNA. Well, yeah, I mean, bottom line is
Exactly.
you know that there's DNA there, just a matter of if when Richard Allen was caught, in a sense, did his DNA from what they found in his house, did his DNA match anything? And that's what we don't know. We don't know that part of things, right? I mean, it would be nice. I hope so. I just feel like the prosecutors have a lot more going on. As much as I think that this
Right.
case has been a shit show through and through, I think that I'm hoping, really hoping, but I'm hoping that the prosecution side has the nail that puts it in the coffin that goes, you know what, you can't get out of this, dude. You've already got this. We got this. I got this. Oh, guess what? Your DNA was at the crime scene.
Do you want to hear something terrifying?
No.
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 So I was looking back into a case that I had been researching for years, that's going to trial next year, and I couldn't remember exactly the crime happened in 2016, and so there were a couple of arrests made in the crime, and it dawned on me today when I was looking back into it that the trial that is now scheduled for May of May of 2024. The person that is going to trial was arrested in 2018. And I immediately was like, if Richard Allen does not, or if the Delphi case does not go to trial for 5 years, I'm out.
Right.
And I know that, and I know sadly that's common. But, so for people that are like, oh, he was arrested, he's been in prison for a year awaiting trial, that's not uncommon, sadly.
I know, right? I love the fact that as time has advanced, that DNA. Who was it that said that on a thing? I can't remember if it was EWU or whatever. But anyways, bottom line was what was said was, it's a lot of times it's not so much that the LE or police are solving it. The DNA is solving these cases because a lot of those cases, like I said, are coming back now saying cold case from 45 years ago, cold case from this. It's the DNA that's nabbing these people, right? The investigation went whatever, but then they got to use the new technology. Boom, now we can test this. And I hope with the John Bonet case too, because that was said by John Bonet's dad, of course, John, that, like not everything was, not all the items were put through the DNA test and stuff like that. I really hope that one day, little John Bonet, that we can ever finally have some answers and some closure to that case. But I just love the fact that DNA is, and the whole, what's that one called? Familiar little DNA. When it goes to
Familial?
familial. Yeah. Like with Brian Koberger, getting the DNA goes back to his dad. Obviously, then it's like,
Yeah, like the linear.
yeah, love that stuff. Anyways, guys, you know what? Just any final thoughts that you wish to have, that would be great. And Jeff, thank you for making this video. Now, I want you to go back to the ISP video and just see if you can.
Yeah, I looked at that link you sent me. That video is so tiny. Oh my gosh.
Well, you got to make it bigger.
Well, but I can't believe that's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's from a older phone technology, but I still can't believe was actually.
I know
that small.
I know, right? It's like,
and remember, it's probably very zoomed in.
I was going to say,
yeah. So it probably cropped and very tiny. It's just zoomed into.
Can you believe, like for Libby, her hand must have been shaken so badly. Because you can see that Libby does photography and stuff like that.
She was the only one with a phone, right?
Well,
that we know of.
Because wasn't the other one's mom saying she was going to get her phone, or they were talking about getting her a phone at some point, but she had to earn it or something, or maybe it was her next birthday.
Yeah, you're talking about Abby.
Yeah, I get the names mixed up. I'm sorry, but yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I thought just today I saw an interview saying that.
Yeah. Ivy Rose says, by the way, Libby had an iPhone 6. Okay, that's what she had. Okay, not a 5, not a 7, but a 6.
Thank you, Ivy.
So now let me ask you this, and this is something I always think about it.
Yeah.
So what made Libby, imagine what made Libby take out her phone and record this man?
Because he was
right.
What happened? Because obviously, humans were designed like that. We see somebody and our brain automatically puts them in categories: friend or enemy or potential mate, because that's how we see. That's how our primitive brain works. So what was it with her that her amygdala went boom, enemy, there's danger, record? Did he do anything? Did he went by her for the first time?
I wonder if the gun is what changed what maybe she had at first intended. Because if he didn't have a gun, she could have said, "Look, creep, I've got you on my phone is on you. I'm filming you. Get away from us." But the gun changed the.
Well, I mean, probably. I'm sure clearly, because I mean, in the segment of video that's been released, I mean, clearly we don't have alarm bells going off vocally or visibly at that point, but the gun's not visible.
Right. It's in his pocket, and that's when he comes closer to him. That.
But yeah, I
it's-
agree. I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, go ahead. Finish.
I was saying, but yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. That would absolutely be the game changer, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's
There
the
had
word I
to
was
be
looking for.
something
Changer,
that scared them, because you're not gonna take it, especially teenagers. You know, they're not paying attention what people do. Like this dude, you're not gonna go and be like, why? It had to be something that he did that they
And-
fell for it, and she
Yeah.
fell for it.
I kept thinking in my head, like holding the thing up, pretending you're on a phone call with somebody, or exactly, like saying, yeah, like I'm recording you. Don't even, type of idea to like scare them. But again, if you're not in the moment,
Yeah.
we don't know how.
When trial finally comes, we're gonna get to see the 43-second video.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to happen.
It's going to be longer.
That will be released.
Yeah. It's going to be longer than that.
they make these things.
They
remember
said 43 seconds, Sonny.
We just talked about time frames, Adam. Are you contradicting yourself? You just talked about.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that they've said that the video that we're referencing right now lasted 43 seconds. Was there other videos? We don't know. But
Hold on. They showed us the 43-second part, but Tobe himself out of his own mouth.
He said it was under 2 minutes. But no.
But
In other documents, they've said the video lasted 43 seconds.
Yeah, but
we don't know there weren't other videos.
Yeah, I'm still not buying that 43-second thing with it, because we've heard Down the Hill talk about the time of it. We've heard actually multiple people.
Yeah, we've heard 45 minutes. We've heard all sorts of things.
Well, yeah, we heard 45 minutes. We certainly did. Everyone's like, oh shit, like what else? But I believe it's going to be a little, because if I'm not mistaken, Tobe said that the video's a little bit longer than what you're seeing. I remember him saying that actually. Now
that could be interpreted as it goes a little longer than what the point that we see it at.
Longer than 43 seconds.
Well, no, I mean, but he said that you see the part we're seeing. It might go on longer than what we see, but that doesn't mean it exceeds 43 seconds. Because we're not seeing the very end of the video in this clip.
He was referencing beyond the 43 seconds. He was referencing that it's a little bit long.
Yeah, no, I said it's. I'm pretty sure Ivy Rose is correct when she says the 43 seconds is in court filings. I think that's under oath. So,
Ivy, Adam knows I'm always right. When he almost 99.9% loses these battles.
Like I said, I'm not saying there aren't more videos than this. I'm saying I think when they say that this video lasts 43 seconds, I think that means that the video that this is from was from a 43-second video.
Okay. Love you.
That doesn't mean there's not more video.
Yeah. I think I lost you. I think I stopped listening in the last end.
Of course you did.
I was just going, Sonny's right. That's all I was thinking. Was Adam always right? No.
Hey, although wait, I think that got rid of my hiccups. I think me contradicting you made my hiccups go away.
See?
Can't you scare hiccups out of someone? Maybe.
Yeah.
You may have scared the hiccups out of me.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar, in case you guys ever get hiccups and anything, apple cider vinegar is your friend. It is your best.
You just take a spoon?
Yeah. Hey?
What, you just take like a little sip of it?
Yeah, just swig it. I'm not afraid. I don't need to add water. I'm not afraid of apple cider vinegar. Do it. Your hiccups are gone instantly.
You can catch fruit flies with it too.
And yes, we do. Trust me, we have a little apple fruit flyer.
Yeah, we had one of those too.
Come in. Yeah, but anyways, so let's see here. So last thought.
I love apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I know that it's like 1 o'clock in the morning over in the eastern side.
I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But Sonny won't stop arguing with me.
This wouldn't be a marriage, Adam, if we didn't argue from time to time.
But you know what? my mother always taught me never go to bed
Matt?
with someone that you're fighting with.
Yeah, I love you. You're so attractive all of a sudden. Just
So you got to go
you.
just find anyone that you're not fighting with. Say,
Yeah.
come to bed.
Exactly. Exactly. You can resume that tomorrow, but tonight have a good time.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do last thoughts because you don't want to keep you guys anymore. I mean, you guys know me. Well, no, the husband's going to bitch about needing to go to bed soon as well. So he has to be downtown at the freaking arena tomorrow to work on a job. And so he's not in a good mood. Nobody that, that's like driving in New York, Vancouver here. You don't want to be there. You just don't.
Tell him not to leave anything valuable visible in his windows in Vancouver.
Well, at least it's a work truck though, or the work van. But so anyway, so Alexza, go ahead. Anything that you wanted just to put out there?
No, I mean, well, first, thank you again for inviting me. I always enjoy
Thank you for coming.
having time. Appreciate it. Number two, I mean, I just wish one day, hopefully, we'll get some answers. I don't think we will get all the answers that we expect, but I do believe that we hopefully will get some answers, so we can make more sense of why, all the whys. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Obviously, hopefully, I just want this whole mess with the judge and the lawyers, just like everybody said, just let's move on. I mean, this is just distraction and noise that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Let's fix it. Let's move on and focus back on what's important, which is let's bring this case, to trial, and let's bring justice for the girls. And I think, poor families, I feel so bad. It's like one thing after the other. Like, how much more can they take? I mean, I just want them to, get justice. I mean, there'll never be justice for them, but hopefully, what, so that's what I
agree.
And little gambler says I need to play the outro as the intro. That's the only reason why little gambler says he's here just for the outro. I mean, not less the fact that it's been a couple hours, but hey, we'll overlook that, and I'll do that for you, little.
Oh my goodness,
I'll do
3
that.
hours. Wow.
I know, right? 3 hours and 13 minutes.
I don't care what court documents come out tomorrow. I'm not doing a live. I mean, unless they're good court documents.
I'm doing it live because it's like November 30th tomorrow. Tomorrow's like November 30th,
Okay,
and then
great news.
Yeah. Well, it's like the last day of the month. I feel like I have to, and then the next day is December 1st. So it's like, so yeah, it's like I'm getting more energy. For all the times that I wasn't doing lives about a month ago too much, now it's kind of like it's
you're making up for it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I won't invite you, Adam. Don't worry.
I'm just kidding. I would only be so lucky to join.
Okay. Jeff, what about you? What about you, buddy?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. This was great. Unexpected, and nice surprise to be invited. Something came to mind though, is that I think I saw on Amazon one time, they have these keychains that you pull them apart and they scream, like they make a very loud, obnoxious noise, and the noise doesn't stop until you can figure out how to put the
thing back together
that you pulled out. So basically, if you have one of those and you take that thing out and toss it into the woods, I think anybody that's sending their kids off anywhere where they could end up in a situation like this, they ought to go with one of those, because that
I know, right?
That could have made a difference. Maybe not.
Wait,
but who knows?
is this Jeff? I thought that was Travis.
Travis? Who's Travis?
Right there. Is it the Love Jeff's radio voice ring?
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Wait, to do my radio voice, I got to put my hands up on my ears like this and say,
Jeff has a great.
So if you go to Amazon now, Amazon you can find these keychains. They're very interesting keychains. You have you pull them apart and they scream and make a sound that's very annoying and lasts as long as the thing is separated.
You sounded the same.
It's a criming shame. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, Jeff. He's one of the ones that. When I think of somebody talking in an intro, I'm just like, I got Jeff. is my friend. Jeff has he has a great, because there's some times that you just wanted to sound like a man. Now, my husband has a British accent, okay? And it's good for certain things, but Jeff has a great documentary
It's been a
intro
great
voice.
time here. It's a crime shame. I really got to say.
Wait, Sonny, you want someone to sound like a man?
Yeah.
Thanks YouTube. Thanks Instagram. Thanks Facebook.
He has a great radio voice and documentary voice as well.
Yeah.
You know, like he totally
Thanks
does.
Snapchat.
Yeah. But honestly, some people just have that voice, and Jeff's one of those ones.
I
for sure.
appreciate that because it didn't always used to be that way, and probably a lot has to do with this microphone that I've got. It's like I think it's like a $1,500 microphone, and so
I'm sorry.
it could be that.
Your plug was only
I'm
for
sure
5
puberty helped.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
too, I think I used to do voiceovers as scratch tracks for commercials before the real voice would come in and hit the end of the process. And then one day it just started happening where the clients were saying, we'd put the professional voice in, and they'd be like, you know what, we like the other voice. Can we keep the other guy? It's like,
Right.
oh, but he's just the scratch track guy. It's like, not anymore.
No, it's definitely not, Daniel. All right.
But anything you do with anything you practice, you're just going to get better at. So
Okay.
Not
Something.
necessarily.
almost anything.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't think
having Hi, Beatrice. How are you?
How are
you
you?
love me more than Adam?
Or Tom
Okay.
Downey.
I get it. Aw. There's Beatrice. Adam, do you have anything last minute?
No, I'm good. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah? You sure you don't want to float your own boat? Because, you did tell yourself how hot you were in a super jet. Is there anything else you want to add to that tonight?
No, I do want to note that Jeff never raised my my wager.
He never raised. Oh, no, he didn't, did he? Jeff.
Yeah. I flat broke. I looked at it. I was like, I can't.
Oh, now you sound like my sister. God's money, but they're always broke. They're always broke. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Jeff, thank you so much for your donation.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna have.
Alexza, thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, of course. I probably don't thank Alexza as much as I probably should. I always appreciate Alexza when she can come on and join.
Sonny. You do. She's good.
She's
I
good.
love it when I see it's you three. You three make a great team. Just to be sitting here with you is just an honor.
Like I said, I really do appreciate good friends and good people. Absolutely appreciation. And it's so funny because I'm a very emotional and whatever, but I forget to thank you mods, thank you guys that are mods that are saying hit the like button and stuff like that.
And you want to know something is I completely forgot. Well, I kind of knew, but it slipped between my ear and my kids getting sick, whatever. But it was my 25th year anniversary.
Oh my God, when was it?
It was today. So
Oh man.
So I was
how
like,
long?
when I told him, I was like, well, I'm doing it live. And he was like, oh, okay. So it's like, I guess no dinner.
Alexza, how long?
My nose is brown.
25 years together. We've been married for 18, but together 25.
Oh my goodness. So you waited a while to have kids.
Yeah, we waited. Oh yeah. We dated
Wow, that's
7 years,
awesome.
and then we married. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have never met a Canadian I could put up with more than Sonny. How long have I known you?
Long enough. Definitely long enough. Yeah.
Alexa's husband is Canadian, for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. There's just something about us Canadians, isn't there? Isn't there? Right, Charmaine? Charmaine would agree.
That's awesome, Alexza.
But so happy anniversary to you and your husband.
I just didn't want to cancel you. I was the one who opened my mouth about Wednesday, but I completely forgot that. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh. Okay.
There's still time for romance tonight.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at this point, we'll do it. I told him I'll take him out for dinner on Saturday.
Just be like, happy jingle balls, jingle balls, jingle balls.
Okay, gotta go. Bye, everyone.
No, wait. Okay, before we got to thank. So we have to thank, of course, Alexza for the memberships and for the people that got those memberships. Again, I love the whole pay it forward thing. Yes, 'tis the season. We're in that holiday season of giving and stuff like that. So just so you know, thank you so much to the channel. Thank you so much to the people that received the memberships. Charmaine has, oh, hello. Oh, where did he go? Okay, maybe it looked like I had 5 chins there. But welcome back, Adam. He popped out for a sec. But and Charmaine has been a huge role. I had a goal, and my goal was that my husband didn't have to pay for one car payment, which is like $440, besides my couple other bills I got to pay, whatever. So I just want to say thank you guys, but especially thank you. It's like half of it's to you guys, the other full half is to Charmaine for all the memberships that people got because of Charmaine's generosity and kindness. You know, she had bought in Sharon Parker, the Abby and Libby blanket from the merch store. Metal Michelle Mama too. Thank you for the tip the other day, like she had done. And it's just like the chips and that she sent to Adam, ketchup chips and hickory sticks and stuff like that. Very, very generous, to the point that I was like, please stop, you're embarrassing me. And she's like, look, I will if I can, I won't if I can't, okay? On there. So I just want to quickly say, so Mustang, thank you for yours contribution to your $5. And then she did, oh, sorry, hold on. Mustang did memberships as
5
well.
memberships as well.
Yeah.
She did 5 memberships as well. And Mustang, yeah, needs to stop because, you know, Mustang definitely budget. She had sent 6 tacos, I think it was the other day, 6 and 1, I believe it was, to that. So that person, and then someone, Peace Train. Thank you for that, Anne. Love you, Anne. Have a good night. So Aspen Connor, he's so shamelessly plugged himself tonight. Support with Steffa, Jeff H.
Careful now.
Yeah. And Cecil, thank you for your apology. No, there's no apology needed on that. Kathy, thank you so much. I just feel like I'm missing someone. Diana S. All right. Yeah. That was tonight as well. So I'm pretty sure I got everyone in that. Ben, thank you for that $1 million. Oh, wait, that wasn't you. That was Alexza. Alexa, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for sending me money on your anniversary. That's awesome of you. Yeah. Thank you guys. So yeah, I'm going to do a live tomorrow. Yeah, I am, Adam. If you want to come join. As for Jeff.
Right now, I'm going to say no, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
No, you say no. You say no. I can handle myself. And
I want to see that video again. I mean, the
which
one that Jeff made. No, the one that Jeff made. I really want to analyze.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me drop that one more time. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me did I go off of it for a second, or is it on? No, I'm still on it. Okay. If you guys have not subscribed to Jeff, like I said, he follows Idaho and he does really great videos on.
I didn't know you had a channel. Oh, Jeff, I didn't know you had a channel.
Jeff H.
Yeah.
Jeff H.
You know, I one of the videos that I've put up lately that's gotten a lot of views is the grub truck video kind of recut. I cut all close-ups like a director would in a TV show, and and I went straight from the original grub truck video file that I downloaded from their Twitch site, back like in March or something. So the quality is pretty nice. Harsh Reality gave me a very nice review
Shout
of
out.
it. Yeah. He did a video basically just for that purpose, to say, hey, I've found this. You all ought to check it out. And he calls me. I like how he calls me Jeff Heitch. Jeff Heitch. I don't know him, but he's not everyone's cup of tea, as it were, from the emails you sent me. But Jeff Heitch. Yeah. Face looks familiar, he said, but.
That's why I make fun of my husband, though, because the U's and the H's, it's like a whole different syllable, like, consonant or vowel when they say them. It's like, it's like a harder H sound.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
He's not really my meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I know the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. Yeah, it makes me hungry.
He's really not my meat and potatoes. But I'm glad to give you a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was unexpected. That was nice.
Thank you for not answering my email back about 5 months ago, though, Mr. H on there. Heaven forbid.
You emailed me 5 months ago?
No,
Oh.
harsh reality. One time when I asked him if he wanted to come on the show, he
I was gonna
ignored
say, it
me.
doesn't sound like-
I figured I'd drop the British husband thing that, hey, try to get that in there. But no. So I'll remember that. No.
He's getting around to it. He knows how big a star you are, and he doesn't want to say the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
This is his chance.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyways, you guys, so for the outro for Little Gamer, I'll play the intro on our way out. You guys have a blessed night. Thank you so much, you guys, for
Good night,
being
everyone.
here. To everybody for your chat and stuff in there. And thank you to Alexza and, of course, Jeff H. And, of course, my internet.
Not Alexza, good night, Adam. Good night, Sonny.
Good night.
Not Sunny.
Pip, pip. I'm going to go have some tea now, actually. PK or
Get some
PG.
tea and crumpets.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready. So the intro is going to play. So if you guys just pop off, feel free. But I'm going to play that.
Yeah, I got to go to bed.
Before Wifey gets upset. Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye, guys. One. What the heck?